When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey. When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people.
Good evening. It is 2:50. 2:50 right here on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Just like, share, and subscribe to Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares LLC YouTube channel. Thank you all for joining us. We have an exciting program for you this afternoon. We have Opposition Senator Damion Crawford. He's also the opposition spokesperson education. He's speaking about proposal to increase GCT to fund Jamaica's education sector. And you know that Damion Crawford is a person who always gives some enlightening speech. And his topics that he always speaks about is always educational. A man who don't mince words, but the layman can understand what he's saying. So this afternoon or this evening, we're going to speak some more about what Senator Damion Crawford was speaking on a well-known radio station in Jamaica. And people are saying, why am I taking that from there? But you know, you have to get news and give it to the people who don't listen to news sometimes. But I want to say this afternoon to everyone who is listening to us in the sound of my voice, welcome to the Make We Talk program. Wherever you're listening and watching from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean, this is Make We Talk with yours truly, Jeffrey Tavares, the original poor people defender. I was dubbed this the first time I came on social media, the first time I started on YouTube. A friend of mine dubbed me as the poor people defender. I don't really use it, but I am the poor people defender. And just a reminder that come Saturday, there will be a mass demonstration in Washington, D.C. Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica, come out in your numbers. It will be live on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. And also, I was just sent something by our good friend Wilfred Radigan. Check out Reason with Radigan tomorrow, June 13th at 8 p.m. on Reggae Global Radio and YouTube channel at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. US time, 7 p.m. Jamaica time. The topic is the final update on the protest in front of the Jamaican embassy in Washington. And also, the discussion is the Jamaican Diaspora Council Conference, June 16th to 21, from 7 p.m. to 10 a.m. Sorry, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. From 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So join Wilfred Rattigan tomorrow, Thursday, 13th, when we'll be discussing the final preparation for the mass protest in Washington, D.C. And also join, I think tomorrow is Thursday, yes. Well, I'm pretty much sure all of us will be on Rattigan program tomorrow. If I'm not, I think all of us will be on Rattigan program tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of Mr. Rattigan to confirm this with us. But I know tomorrow it will be a great discussion tomorrow on his program on the final preparation for the mass demonstration in New York, in Washington, D.C. What's wrong with me in Washington, D.C.? The Jamaican embassy, oh Lord, the Jamaican embassy in Washington, D.C. is distanced itself from, it's in the Jamaica Gleaner, where the Jamaican embassy in Washington, D.C., the Jamaican embassy, the Jamaican ambassador, and the government of Jamaica is distancing itself from reggae artists. Should I even say it? Mr. Vegas. I think I need to call Mr. Rattigan to just give us a little update, if I can, on the thing tomorrow. Let me see if I can call him. Hold on for me, please. Yes. The Jamaican embassy in Washington, D.C. is distancing itself from Mr. Vegas, Jamaican well-known artist and social media blogger. The embassy is saying that they are not in agreement with anything that Mr. Vegas is doing. Vegas is planning a counter-protest in Washington, D.C. on Saturday. And the Jamaican embassy, along with the Jamaican government, is distancing itself from Mr. Vegas. They are not aware of it. They have not planned any protests or any counter-protest in Washington, D.C. on Saturday. So they do not know where this man gets his thing from. So let me see if I can get home, Mr. Rattigan, to tell us some more about tomorrow. Hold on for me, please. Let me see if I can tell us about tomorrow, if he can talk. Mr. Rattigan?
Yeah.
We're live on air, sir. I know you're not well, but can you tell us about tomorrow, sir?
Yeah. Tomorrow is just a final update on the plans for the protest on Saturday.
Yes.
And the
conference and Sunday.
Conference for next week. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just a final update to say this is what the plan is. This is what we expect. This is what we expect to happen. And we hope we have a good turnout because it will be a worthwhile event. And that's it, so that people don't get left in the dark, you know.
All right, Mr. Rattigan, and I know you're not well, sir, so I want to say thanks for coming on. But before you go, and I know you're not a man who will comment on certain things, but I have to ask you, have you read the Gleaner report, sir?
Gleaner report on what story?
On where the Jamaican embassy is distancing itself from reggae artist Vegas.
Oh, I don't know what's going on between them and Mr. Vegas. I thought he was supporting the cause for them. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. My take on it is that I think it's the way it was advertised. He said that it was going to be that they were going to be at the embassy to promote Brand Jamaica, and I think the embassy wrote something saying we don't have an event planned on Saturday. In fact, the embassy is closed, so we don't know what event he's talking about. I think it's the way he phrased it. I think he phrased it as if I think their interpretation of it was that the embassy was having an event and he was supporting that event. And so they're saying, we're not having any event, so we don't know what he's talking about. So,
yes.
I don't know what's going on there, man.
In other words, the embassy is saying, usher him out, usher him out.
And that sounds like a familiar refrain. Where have I heard that before, you know?
You have heard of it, Gina Jennings, usher him out?
Oh, that's where it came from.
Yes. Wilfred Rattigan, I want to tell you thanks for coming on, sir, and get better, because the people on the chat room here in the Mekwita, Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel is saying, get well soon, Will, get well soon, we want to see you. One love.
I'll be there on Saturday. Hell or high water, man. Even if I have to be there in a wheelchair on crutches, I'll be there on Saturday.
Yes. And of course, tomorrow, join you tomorrow. We'll have a great discussion. All of us have a great discussion on your channel tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, yes, sir. 8 o'clock.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome, sir. Take care now. Be well. Bye-bye.
Thank you. I have another call coming in. Hello, caller. Good night. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mekwita program.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're live in here. How can I assist you?
Oh, that's a calling about the Vibes Cartel case, you know?
No, I'm not talking about cartel now, you know. I have a different topic to come on now. About education with Damion Crawford.
Okay. Sorry about that.
All right, sir. Thanks much.
Good.
Yes. There you have it. You hear the voice of Wilfred Rattigan. He sounds strong as ever. He's going to get better soon. Well, Senator Damion Crawford was given a speech some time ago, and he said that the government should increase GCT to fund education sector in Jamaica. I want you to listen to an interview with Mr. Crawford on Nationwide yesterday and what he said. Here we go. Hope we can get this thing to work properly. This is what Mr. Crawford said.
Nonetheless, and we have with us the Opposition Spokesman Education, Senator Damion Crawford, and he'll be speaking regarding a statement made this afternoon, well, not this afternoon, but made earlier, regarding his proposal that the government increase the general consumption tax, that's GCT, by a single percentage point and use the revenue to provide additional funds to the education sector. Senator Crawford was speaking on the weekend at the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, JAPPS, conference in Trelawny.
For example, a 1% increase in GCT will give us $25 billion. And $25 billion over 400,000 students, that will give you about 67,000 per student. If you are interested in saying, this funding model should be quote-unquote free education, because education has never been free. So the total package of education including uniform, that's not including free education. Even including lunch money, that's not including free education. So it's not just the policy, the reality is that parents have to pay some contributions to education. But the fee is supposed to be no fee education. That is what we really have, no fee. So if we're going to do no fee, then it must be subsidized in totality by the government.
Senator Damion Crawford. Well, he joins us now. Good evening, Senator Crawford.
All right, good evening, Cliff and team. How are you doing?
We're good. Siobhan is my co-host.
Hi. Oh, Siobhan, how are you? How are you?
Good evening, Sir Crawford.
So
All
the
right.
Nature's Choice people recommend eggs, good nutrition and protein.
And I will send you a bill for that. You know, he's an egg farmer.
Yes, very much so. A very successful one at that, I understand.
I'm going to ask upstairs to prepare the invoice. Yeah. So, Senator Crawford,
Yes.
you're proposing that the government, a government that has heralded a no net new taxes for the last 8 consecutive fiscal years, yes, to go against that and increase the GCT from 1 percentage point. Why?
Well, just today, in a conversation with the Jamaica Teachers Association, where you acknowledge that the vast majority of the budget to education goes to salaries. The recurring expenses.
Are you having us on a speakerphone? Why you're sounding like you're in?
Actually, no. Are you hearing me well?
Yes, go a little closer to the.
Okay,
yes.
good. All right. So, salaries, the recurring expenses of electricity, water rate, and then a very minimal amount to even refurbishing. So there's very little funding in the education budget for projects or improvement, for activities such as socialization of students, etc. And so, therefore, I was indicating to the principals that if there is a commitment to no new taxes, then equally there is a commitment to no new program. And at this time, education is in great need of new programs.
But then, are you creating an education tax number 2? We already have an education tax.
Well, the total amount of money received in revenue goes to the different priorities of the government. Indeed, most people that speak to an education tax would accept that the education tax is not sufficient to fund education. There is a extreme supplementation of the education tax for the funding of education.
But is it that whatever we collect for the education tax goes to education, or it gets into the general revenue?
It goes into the general, but because the total is above the education tax, then even if we said it is education tax plus some addition. So if remember we are at I think it's $120 billion for education, 160 billion. The education tax is nowhere near that, and so therefore, when you collect the education tax, it's supplemented. So everything goes to central, and then the government decides how to spend. But the education tax isn't being used to subsidize any other activities since it is less than the education needs.
But Senator Crawford, where I'm going, is we have these policies that we articulate on paper, but we don't really follow them. I remember very clearly when the education tax was being marketed to the people of Jamaica. And it has not happened. Why do you think, even if they were to go with this idea of years of generating 1 percentage point more in GCT, $25 billion more, what will be done differently to ensure that those $25 billion go into education?
The government that is elected and the minister that is then selected are committed to education. Again, I go back to your argument just this morning with the JTA president. The ministry has lamented that they have put in e-books that are not being used. However, the minister about a month ago indicated that the ministry distributed 10,000 laptops to secondary schools this year, when the age cohort in the secondary schools is about 240,000. That's less than 5%. So to use e-books in a class where the students don't have a laptop, or to use e-books in a class where they don't have internet access, is impossible to be done. So you can't say go to page 47 when you don't have a projector even. So that investment becomes necessary if we're going to change education. And what we're seeing currently is that we have a need for socialization intervention to reduce violence, a need for literacy intervention.
sorry, you know something? I'm in agreement with Senator Crawford. It may sound as if, you know, to increase GCT and the poorest of the Jamaicans is not good. But if they're using the increase of GCT to fund education in Jamaica, I think it'd be something good. That's my take on it. I think it's something good. You know? Although we must question something though. Supreme Ventures, any money that is being won, and a lot of money is being won in Jamaica, whether it be cash pot, this year pot or no pot, that some of that money goes towards education in Jamaica. So we must ask the question, where is those money going? Yes, raising GCT is good, but we must also ask, where's the money from Supreme Ventures proceed, and you know, who win lotto and who don't win lotto and who win cash pot and all those things? Where's that money going? What Senator Crawford is saying is absolutely correct, and I agree with him. Let's listen to some more what Senator Crawford has to say with Cliff Hughes.
Prevention to increase and improve literacy and numeracy, and the need to ensure that 50% of our schools are not below 30% to get 5 subjects. We have schools in Jamaica that have a 1% chance.
We're
of
going to
getting
come to
5
that, you know,
subjects.
Senator Crawford. But what I really want to hear you on as a legislator, what would you propose differently by
Yes.
law, which is what you have the power
Well,
to
we
do,
have the
to
examples
ensure that
fiscal
every
rules.
dime collected goes into education?
We have the example of the fiscal rules, and we could have a agreed fiscal rule, a law in Parliament that X% of the budget should go to education. But when you use a percent of GDP, that don't necessarily cover the cost of the activity. Our listeners should understand that each high school is getting $17,000 per child for the year. If it is that we were to get 25 billion more, it will allow for an additional 62,000 per child, and that is at both secondary and primary levels. So it is where we are, where primary school is getting $11,000 for the year. How can we expect, and I must be clear that that doesn't include salaries for the teachers, but that is for all the programs that the school have, including the water rate, including the light bill. So you have many schools that are incapable of doing proper homework sessions, that are incapable of offering proper clubs and societies, especially without fees. And so therefore, I believe that we could have that law. But I am one who feels that the politician should be held to account by the voter. And if not satisfied by the commitments, then the voters vote. But these laws takes away the democratic process of
But then,
people.
Senator Crawford, we have a situation where we have a crisis in our democracy. Every 5 years, will people go to the polls, and fewer of them are doing so, which is another discussion.
The outcomes of withdrawal is for the
Yes.
person who withdraw to bear. So if the persons are intending on not participating and then complaining, that is really the negatives or the positives is for them to bear. I don't have any brief to hold for those persons who choose to participate in that way.
Senator Crawford, this matter of I'm not sure what to call it, but this increase in GCT in order to fund education, aren't you concerned that that is not exactly a winning message with the electorate in terms of just generally increasing taxes in any way?
I remember that there was a demonstration in East Rural that said pick me don't vote and education can, and I still continued with those principles and policies. So my commitment to education is clear. There is a part of the budget that is called discretionary, that the government have discretion over to choose to spend in the way that the government desires. And currently that discretionary has not been used to fund education in a way that can show any true changes. We have been stuck at 17 or 18% of our students getting 5 subjects, including math and English. We're in a position that the police force is now accepting accounting because so few people are passing mathematics. We're in a situation where we have schools with 82% reading at the pre-primary level, and they're in the secondary education. So if it is that we'll continue to fear to lose an election instead of continue to fear to fail at policy, then we are in trouble as a society.
Senator Crawford, I'm with you on that score, definitely. Yes,
Yes.
we don't speak and articulate clear thinking as to how we are going to improve the educational outcomes of our students, whether they are at 11 years old, 12 years old, or 16, 17 years old. And part of the issue I've been an advocate for the last 20 odd years while I do this thing, we have got to get all the critical stakeholders, not only the teachers who dominate the policy making process now in education, but where are the parents? Hold on, let me finish. Let me, and I will answer.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the parents?
Yes.
Where are the captains of industry who have to receive and employ the products of the education system? And we are suffering in our various places of employment because we see we get the products. We see the lack of numeracy. We see the lack of literacy for our business, the lack of ability to write. Yeah? We see that. Yeah? You speak of the socialization that's not happening. We are feeling it. Yeah? The lack of attention to detail. But our voices are not being heard because the policy making process, because of history and the formation of the JTA from the late 50s into the 1960s, they have supplied the country with ministers of education over the years. Yes? They have been an integral part of the politics. They are at the table. There are standardized meetings where the JTA has to be represented. Yes? But we are not having the other stakeholders who can act as a counter to not only the interests of teachers who have notoriously over the last 10, 15 years resisted attempts to hold them more accountable.
Well, first of all, Cliff, I beg to disagree because if the JTA was so influential, then why is it that after every negotiation the JTA is disappointed with the outcome? So
good question. Good question. You know why?
Yes.
Huh? Put your mind to it and think about it.
I'm putting my mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think about
politics.
No, but if they're disappointed, then they're not.
Politics.
For example,
they play the politics too.
The Jamaican teacher's salary is, I think, currently 8th in the Caribbean or 7th in the Caribbean. They are not overpaid. They're not paid greater than anyone because of their political influence. But policy often ignore these teachers. Policy ignore them currently, for example, with the e-books. They were not consulted on how e-books should be or what should be done from that conversation.
But in terms of salaries, though, Senator, we went through in this country a long period of austerity where we had several wage freezes. Yes?
And they accepted those.
They accepted those. But in accepting those, just the point you make of them about being the 8th best paid in the region, we fell behind. And we're now trying to catch up. We fell behind, not only for teachers, but nurses, the doctors, the policemen. We'll make the same argument.
So you're confirming then that the teachers are not those to be blamed to be unwilling to participate in sacrifices for the education outcome?
No.
My take on this, hold on for me, let me say something here. My take on this, if you have teachers that is underpaid, you think they're going to go out there and push every effort in the education system? I was listening to something this morning, and there is a JTA conference going on for election of JTA president, Jamaica Teachers Association president. And one of the teachers, one of the person who's vying for the position of president, said that they will have to push for teachers to get a livable wage. A livable wage in the sense where a teacher is not being underpaid and overworked and dropped down on the job. And I agree with her. A lot of people on the social media platform here is saying that Mr. Crawford is talking utter rubbish. And the people can't take any more new taxes. I'm in agreement with that too. And that is why sometimes when you hear some ideas, you sit down and you analyze, can those ideas work? Why is our teachers leaving education institution and going overseas? Because they're not getting a livable wage. And our leaders had 3% increase in their salary. Our leaders got 3% increase in their salary. You know, let's listen to some more of what Mr. Crawford was discussing with Mr. Hughes and Nationwide.
Oh, it's not. I'm not saying that they're unwilling. They have resisted. They have been resisting to being held accountable.
Well, let me answer the accountability question. Because I too would
something like the president of the
very
JTA.
little control over the policies and the outcomes. If it is that I am instructed what to do as a principal, that I have to offer all these courses when my students can't read, when my entrants are of low levels of productivity, when my students have not ate on multiple occasions. I remember teaching mathematics, and when it's a pi r square, them stuck at the pi, then eat from morning, r square is insignificant to that student.
Mm-hmm.
When the books are not available, neither on rental or otherwise, when chronic absenteeism is created by crime, weather, lack of accessibility to local infrastructure, I am unwilling. So if you look at, for example, chronic absenteeism, 21 days, 3/4 of the Jamaican students miss 21 days. And if I'm teaching a child quadratic equation when he missed factorization, he'll never learn quadratic equation. If I'm teaching him vectors when he missed trigonometry, he'll never learn vectors. And he missed ratio, he missed trigonometry because there was a war in his community, or because there was a rain that he couldn't cross the place without a bridge. So the teachers are saying that there's not a linear relationship between teacher effort and student outcome. And by extension, the way that they are seeking to apply, quote unquote, being held to account is not reasonable and is not fair. And I agree with those teachers.
I'm not,
but Senator Crawford,
Mm-hmm.
I recall, and this is quite a while back, but I recall when a statement was made by a former Minister of Education, Ronald Thwaites, regarding the need for varying teacher salary based on need in the education system. That did not go down well with the teachers.
He was incorrect. And many of the ministers of education have been playing the who stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Because everybody's saying, who, me? Couldn't be. It must be number 5 stole the cookie. The policy directions of this country is based on the government. And the governments have not done enough. I have been to Benham Town High School to help with mathematics. And when I got here 10 o'clock on a Monday, the child had her head on the deck. What's wrong with you? The rest of the class. Sir, she have gas. You have gas? Yes, sir, buy her a soda. Now, no matter the quality or caliber of teacher, what can you do? I've been teaching before.
But Senator Crawford, I have to challenge that.
Yes.
You tell me of a period in which we have never had poverty as expressed in those experiences you are making reference to. Yes?
I can't.
We have always had it. We have always hold on. Yes? When I used to go to Chetola Park Primary School on the border of Hannahtown and Jonestown, yes, we had classroom sizes of 55, 60. Yeah? We had to share desks. Yes.
Yes.
And in those classrooms, many of us had some minty and a crackers, if we were
Yes.
lucky.
True.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
lunchtime, you go buy a fritters.
Yes.
Yes. We were having hunger pains as well.
If you have any salvation in
We
there,
were suffering. We didn't come
And the
from
outcomes
we
were
didn't
poor
come
then
from
too,
hold on. We didn't come from households where we didn't have the pain of hunger.
Mm-hmm.
true.
Yeah. But you know what we had?
Yes.
We had some teachers.
Mm-hmm.
We had a system that was working.
No,
Teachers who
can
were
I add to that,
committed.
please? Can I just
Let
say
me finish.
something?
Teachers who were committed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they would insist.
Mr.
Yes.
Hughes,
That
that
you
was
got to
gentle.
learn no matter what.
Please.
We have lost that.
I'm challenging you on that. Because first of all, in those days, the performance were not good either. In those days, so few of us passed the common entrance that our names came in the newspaper. The vast majority went to secondary school that never even got to sit the CXC. They did the SSC. In those days, literacy were lower than even in these days. So while it is that we all love to celebrate those days when we saw a 3 square and a circle and never know which one was different, we had mainly secondary schools for which students were incapable to pass common entrance.
So therefore,
in those days, mathematics passes were not above the 17% that we're having currently, 5 subjects, including math and English. So it wasn't that they were great days and it has depreciated. What has happened is that there's greater concern for that depreciation. But there are teachers out there, I can tell you, that use their own salaries for subsidizing students' lunch needs. There are teachers out there that is going out there to photocopy homework from the books that's supposed to be on rental from the government.
But
there are teachers out there that are buying all manner of things to help their classes. The problem is that the social circumstances, such as access to alcohol, access to drugs, gambling, have all increased, and the social interventions have decreased.
Mm-hmm.
What is the inflationary impact on the PATH program?
Hold on, though, Senator. What are we talking about? We're talking about a systemic problem where our educational outcomes are way below what is acceptable.
Yes.
Yeah? Given how much we spend on education in this country.
No, sir. We are one of the lowest spenders on education.
No, regionally, we are on par.
No,
as a percentage of GDP, we are on par.
I can't go down to Benz and say I'm giving you 80% of my income for the vehicle.
So what else can you use? What else can you use?
What is the cost of a reasonable level of education?
No. But what else can you use as a measurement?
What else can you use?
Yes.
The cost of education. It has been indicated from studies that $8,000.
And that cost is expressed in?
It don't have to be relative to anything.
It has to be.
But Senator Crawford.
Is the cost, 1 second, let me make a point. The cost of a BMW isn't relative to my salary. It is the cost of a BMW. So therefore, if it is that our GDP is $10 and we put $1 and say, oh, we are the same as the man whose GDP is $500 and he puts $50. Not the same, because $50 will automatically create better outcomes.
But where are you going to get them? But where are you going to get the resources if you don't produce?
I just indicated one way. Because if we are committed to education, it would take X amount. You can't say there is no fee as a policy and then only give $17,000 to a school per child for the year. In 10 months, that's $1,700 for the school to ensure that this child that never had a proper start. Just last year, the principals were writing that they were given 3 days of money for PATH program lunches. 3 days. Chronic absenteeism is 21 days. That means if the child is supposed to not come to school on those 2 days, there is an issue. And
the incidence of absenteeism is what?
What's the reason for absenteeism?
The incidence of absenteeism in the system. 21 days for how many of our children? How many of
More
the
than
let's say
40% are missing
800,000?
21 days, Cliff.
How many what?
More than 40% of the Jamaican students are missing 21 days, are in
Per
chronic absenteeism.
per year?
Per year, yes. Rain days, crime days, taxi strike days, hungry days. What do you mean?
My God. My God. Do you hear the percentage of Jamaican students who are absent from school because of hunger? But on the other hand, you have some mothers who put their hair on their bleaching cream before the education of their children. Now, I'm not going to apologize to no one. We can't be blaming government for everything. Some of us parents don't have our priorities straight at all. When you have these people who want to buy these dead people here, I call them dead people here, these so-called Brazilian here, horse here, this year here all drunk or here, and you spend how much thousands of dollars to buy the hair, but you don't think about spending money to make sure your child have a proper education. Sorry, Mr. Hughes and Mr. Crawford. The Jamaican people must get their act together, sir. These women who have these children, the man will go out there and work his back off and come in with the money. And all she wants to go do is to go do her hair and nails. And tonight now she gone down back in the days was Byron Lee and the Dragonaires. Or down a Stone Love. Or they gonna Pier 1 in Montego Bay. No longer Pier 1 is no longer there. They gonna some party and they have a dress to post back foot. Every night is a new pair of shoes and a new outfit. While your child tomorrow morning can't go to school because there is no lunch money. You spend it off the night before because you have to look good. To go bling bling and ling ling. We can't blame government for everything. We the parents must be blamed for some of the mishap of our children. We must be blamed. Listen to some more of what Mr. Crawford and Mr. Hughes was discussing.
There are many in the rural areas that don't go on a Friday because that is farm day.
And that has been historical.
Right? So therefore, when the teacher is to be held accountable, the teacher is saying that how do you qualify those scenarios that have created this situation? How do you qualify when the Ministry of Education celebrates 10,000 computers coming into the school system when the total cohort is 240,000? How do you rectify getting e-books when we don't have e-systems, we don't have laptops in classes? How do you rectify where a school asks for 30?
You know something? You have some of these people. Oh Lord, I don't want to take any call now, you know. Well, let me take the call. Hello, caller. Welcome to make our program. Then where you call the number for? Anyway, I'll lose my train of thoughts. Let's continue to what they're saying.
Math book and got 8. How do you rectify those when the ministry acts in those ways?
But certainly, Senator
Let me give you another
Crawford.
example, Cliff. There's a school in St. James. I won't call the name of the school. They called me to help this last year in mathematics. The students in 5th form did not have a math teacher from 3rd form. The PE teacher was filling in for discipline, not teaching math. In 3rd form, 4th form, now they're in 5th form. They're sitting CXC. How do you hold that 5th form teacher accountable for what she had no input nor impact in? A system
There's a way of doing it, you know. There's a way of doing it. There's a way of doing it. And the Patterson report spoke to it. yes, the value added. Because we know not all students are going to enter, yeah, at the same level and with the same set of socioeconomic circumstances. But there's a thing called value added that we measure. It is measurable. And it has been
what value can
mooted
you add
that
to a fifth form
hold on,
student?
the schools,
Mhm.
yes, who get not the cream of the crop.
Right.
Yes, they don't get the cream of the crop. They get those who are averaging 40, 50%
Yes.
on the PEP or what was GSAT. Yes. And
Mhm.
you use that as your baseline to
But
measure the value
Cliff,
added over the 3-5 years that those children are in that environment, in
and
that
I'm
space.
indicating to you, Cliff, that the availability of teachers is not a school priority. It's not a school problem. It is a policy problem. Is there a teacher retention plan? Even though in the last 2 years we have lost over 1,000 teachers or more each year, have you heard of a teacher
What
retention
did you
plan? And
say?
should that be
What,
because if a school don't have a teacher
what do you mean
for
the
3
schools
years,
don't have a teacher retention plan?
this,
I don't understand that.
the government has not put forward a teacher retention plan, even though in the last 2 years we have lost over 1,000 teachers per year. Even though there's a recruitment of our
But
teachers,
why do we have schools, leaders, principals, boards, grade supervisors, administrators, and they're given a
to put in
budget?
to put in a teacher
Is that
retention policy?
yes? Or you run a
How?
school without teachers? You can't
But
run a
if
school
the
without teachers.
country can't keep the teacher, cliff the
But
school
hold on,
is
the
a
Minister of
microcosm
Education, the
of
Minister
that.
of Education makes policy
Yes.
at the national level, but
Okay.
at the school level, it has to be leadership
But this
and guidance.
problem is not a school level
Senator,
problem.
you have to be careful, you know. Be
But this is
careful
what I'm saying.
that you're prescribing and ascribing to government what is
Yes.
an impossibility.
Let me give you a
No. Hold on.
Mhm.
Governments, ministers, permanent secretaries can't
Yes.
stay at your circle and run your school, my
Nobody's
school.
asking for that.
You have to put in place, and we
I'm
have.
saying the government must put in place an environment that cause our teachers to be more likely to choose Jamaica.
And they do choose Jamaica.
The best of our schools with
They
the
do choose
the
Jamaica.
most excellent
The
leadership
overwhelming
are
majority
losing.
choose Jamaica.
And I'm saying
In what way, Mr. Hughes?
increasingly at the margins we are short. And when you're short at the margin, it affects those that are most in need. Because when
And
KC loses a teacher, it goes across the road and lures away the one from Holy Trinity, leaving Holy Trinity with a hole. And Holy Trinity is saying, how can I therefore be measured when I have a fifth form cohort that did not have a teacher for 2
But
years?
certainly, Senator Crawford, at the end of the day, that boils down to a simple, raw fact of monetary incentive. And
Not just
there's
monetary incentives.
then
There
what
are
other
many other
incentives, such as
There are other incentives, such as, for example, home ownership incentives.
which
The
has
Prime
been
Minister
done?
recently, the Prime Minister
No, but Senator
recently,
Crawford, I have to challenge you on
allow
that
me,
because
please. The
successive
Prime
governments
Minister,
have put
allow
in
me,
place
just allow me for a
housing
second.
incentives for all manners
Listen,
of public
just
sector workers.
let's listen for a second, which was removed by the Prime Minister recently for that special 1%. But there's also
No,
other
Senator, it wasn't removed. It was extended. What do you mean removed? It was extended to all other
I'll send you the
categories of
article
people.
of it being removed. But I'm saying to you, sir, there are also other methods. For example, that for teachers, if you stay in the system, you could get an additional amount from NHD that transform into a normal mortgage when you leave the system. So many banks have done that to give special rates on the last 10 million, the last 15 million. If you leave the bank, it's no longer 4%, it's now 9% or whatever the average, the real rate is. You can get for every 5 years a motor vehicle concession of 5% reduction. So therefore, if it's 100% to bring in the car, you get 5% off that. For 5 years, 10 years, they get another 5%. That is a strategy. You can have, as we have seen with the police stations, for a real revamping of the environment that the teachers are facing.
But Senator Crawford, to give the full picture, though, you know, Jamaica has had a problem of people migrating for years.
Not to this level, Chris. Not to this level.
But on this
If you
level,
look at the
hold
last
on, let me finish.
5 years.
No, let me finish. Because the world, the global village, is experiencing a shortage of teachers. Yes? Several countries.
Mr. Hughes, I have the greatest of respect for you, sir. But yes, several countries are facing where teachers are leaving. But the bigger picture is, Mr. Hughes, if the government of Jamaica was spending more money on the education system in our country, sir, I want to say spending more money. I mean, giving the teachers a livable wage. Then you think if you give them an attractive wage package, do you think our teachers will be thinking about going to the great United States, Canada, and even the Cayman Islands for a better way of living, Mr. Hughes? You know, you are the same one, Mr. Hughes, who said we must stop playing politics in education, you know, sir. But you're playing politics now, sir. And I think the time has come for all of us in this country. The same way they can raise parliamentarian salary to 300%. That's a livable wages for those parliamentarians who only go to parliament once a week and maybe 2 times for the week. A teacher has to be in school 7 days a week, plus Saturdays and Sundays. Because when she go home Saturday, she have to mark the book them, preparing herself for Monday morning, and yet doing her housework and making sure her husband is okay. And the husband not go do so upon her. So you don't come and tell us that teachers are short all over the world. Yes, it is true. But if we, the people of our country, can give our teachers an attractive salary, then I think they won't be leaving education institution at all. And the full time, this is the time for all of us to start playing politics in this country when they come on to education, you know. I'm not taking up for Damion Crawford. No, and I can't take up for him either. You're talking how much budget go to teachers? How much of the Jamaican budget go to civil servants, the politicians in this country? When you have politicians getting 300% increase in this country, for do what? To do what? Oh Lord. The National Hurricane Center is sending weather alert for Broward County and other parts of the Florida Panhandle. Let me see this now. It is 76 outside. Flash flood warning until Wednesday at 4:15 p.m. Heavy thunderstorm. That is what is going on in Florida. Thunderstorm and 4 inches of rain is expected. So that is the news out of Florida. There's a thunderstorm right now. And 4 inches of rain is expected. It has been raining from morning. Let's listen to some more of what Mr. Crawford and Mr. Hughes is saying. But I believe that the same way you can get politicians to get 300% increase in salary, I think our teachers deserve 500 increase then. Don't come and tell me we don't have no money to pay them. But we have money to pay politicians though. Who some of them not even go inside here. I can't call name, you know. Because I watch Parliament. And there's some members of Parliament in this country. When the roll is called in the Parliament by the clerk of the court, And if you ask questions, if you got access for information, find out how many times since the start of this year have you seen Dr. Peter Phillips? Have you seen the man from Clarendon? What's his name again? Mike Henry. Or how many times have you seen the one from Western St. Thomas? What's his name again? The great James Roberts or George Roberts, whatever you want to name. But our teachers has been in education institution 5 days a week, and I would say 7 days a week, because when they go home, people they call them say, "We miss me, I get this, I miss me, no this, I miss me, no that." So our teachers need to get more money. Listen to what Mr. Hughes and Mr. Crawford were saying. Then we're going to open the phone lines for you to call and give us your opinion.
Several countries are going through what we are. Yes? Not only here in the Caribbean, but outside of the Caribbean as well.
Correct.
Yes? So it's not a problem unique to Jamaica. Yeah?
Right.
Nor because of any particular failure of government in Jamaica. No. In fact,
So can I speak on that?
we have been, over the last, what, two years? The salaries have improved.
Significantly.
Right. And we have as
Significantly.
many other problems. You have an inflation problem, government have a duty of intervening. There is
An
from the
inflation
government
problem, Senator.
Let me make a
Inflation has moderated in Jamaica over the last 10, 15, certainly 10, 12 years. For the first time in many, many years, inflation has moderated.
I will come back and speak to the accumulated impact of inflation over the last 4 years on the income of the Jamaicans. But I want to make a point which is about the teachers. I'm saying that in California, for example, with teacher shortage, they have now implemented from the government side, we will pay your student loan. We're offering scholarship. In Britain, I understand that they're offering relocation grants. Governments have to step up and intervene to attract teachers, and by extension, removing some of ours. It is therefore important for our government to intervene to retain teachers. It cannot be that the government, who is a chief employer of teachers, absolve themselves of a duty because a problem now exists. The problem that exists demands a retention plan to reduce the migration push that is happening for our teachers,
And certainly
including foreign affairs intervention, to speak to the United States, to speak to Britain, to encourage them to invest in training additional teachers on their behalf, instead of taking the ones that we're training for ourselves. None of those have been reported in the media. So therefore, with no teacher retention plan, I believe is a failure on the part of the government to compete for the retention of the 1,300 that are leaving.
So if tomorrow you are the Minister of Education, tell me what you'll be doing in terms of the several...
Well, first thing, we will have to see greater funding for education, and that's what I was discussing. But most importantly,
the 1% increase in GCT.
I think that will be a start, or at least be committed to transferring that 25 billion from other activities like renting places down in Mandeville. But
so you're going to put on another
400 million though, Senator, not 25 billion.
But to use the discretionary fund, or to increase the funds available, because we need funds.
No, what do you mean by discretionary?
No. Hold on, Senator. You can't just
move into this term discretionary fund. What is the discretionary fund that you're referring to?
When you have a budget, you have some money that you have to spend regardless of who's in power. That includes the debt, that includes the salaries. After that is discretionary spending, meaning the government decides over that what it does with it. So therefore, if I am in government, the only money that I have to do anything different from Andrew Holness is the money that isn't for debt and not for salaries. And that is the
But that would be things,
portion.
for example, for the Spark program, for the PATH program extension, and other issues that affect the Jamaican people.
The public health sector.
So my question is, Senator Crawford, what would you sacrifice for education?
That's an unreasonable question.
That's not an unreasonable question, Mr. Crawford.
You have to make a choice.
Give up for education in terms of budgetary allocation.
I would give up an arm.
That is not an answer, Senator
What do
Crawford.
you mean, what would I give up? I'm saying to you that I've heard of
So
farm
what
road
part of
projects.
the government's arm or life or leg would you give up to fund education?
Well, first, give me a chance to answer. You can ask me a question.
All right, go ahead, Senator Crawford.
Right? I am saying to you that if I had the discretionary budget, my priority would be education. It means, therefore, that if spark has to be reduced because education is my priority, then the spark might be for the construction of classrooms to take off the 32 schools that are on.
So
on,
no fixing of
shift.
community roads.
Just give me a chance.
No, but that's what you're suggesting, right, Senator Crawford? That we have to say no fixing of community roads.
It is more important to take the 32 schools that are on shift, off shift, because 60,000 girls have been made pregnant in the last 10 years under the age of 16. And a great contributor is to be home in the communities with the vagrants for society when the other adults are not present. I therefore believe that if I have a choice between a pothole and a pregnant teenager, I will choose to seek to alleviate the problems of the pregnant teenager. I've also heard about farm road projects, which is important. I've never heard of a school road project to increase access to schools. What we have
Wouldn't the Spark Road fixing of community roads address
Schools
that?
are on those roads.
You tell me how many school roads are in that, right? I've seen on recent TikTok where the girls are saying to get to school, them have to cross a river. Government spending.
Wouldn't fixing a bridge then or building a bridge be part of the Spark program?
Priority in education, and then seek to transfer the blame from that priority to the teachers who have no resources. Teachers don't have a proper whiteboard to write on. Many are buying Formica to make them own whiteboard. Teachers don't have a proper software for usage in the classroom, smart boards. Teachers not getting the books that they need. Oh, we buy $2 billion e-books. We need $5 billion more because you don't have the majority of rental books that have been asked to be available.
So why are they not making use of it?
What?
Why are they not making use of the e-books that Kassan Troop spoke to?
The e-books cannot be used if the student don't have a laptop in class. How would I point you to page 27 when you don't have a laptop in front of you?
Then let me put it to you, Senator Crawford. Wouldn't then part of that discretionary funding be for programs, for example, the broadband system that is being rolled out across the country to address those matters of lack of internet access in schools?
Ask me how I'm not using something now and then say that you are putting something in place that should allow me to use it in the future. Because most schools don't have access to this quote-unquote internet that they speak of.
And most of the children do have their iPads.
But that forms part of the discretionary spending, Senator.
The minister made heavy weather of 10,000 for 240,000, 10,000.
So
heavy weather of less than 5%.
So Senator Crawford.
24,000.
So Senator Crawford, you're going to increase the GCT by 1% to get $25 billion.
No.
And then you're going to spend it on education. And then
I would propose,
you are going to prioritize education.
Don't put finance in my hands when I don't have it. What I'm saying,
but your proposal, we said if you were sitting in government and you were the education minister,
is to find 25 billion more as a start for segmented funding, so that the same 17,000 that goes to Campion doesn't stop and end over by Donald Quarry.
But I would like to go ahead. Let me finish. Let me not interrupt you. Finish first, Senator Crawford.
Okay. Donald Quarry have greater need for social intervention, for security intervention, for education outcomes intervention. Our current policy gives Donald Quarry the same money as it gives to Campion. The unfortunate conversation in our society is to reduce Campion and supplement Donald Quarry when Campion still needs a minimum amount to survive. So I'm proposing that there should be a sort of funding that analyze the 5 greatest segments of our education offering and make contributions from that 25 billion to the schools that are most in need to improve and to get our students to a point that they can be getting the outcome.
But Senator, now that you've said that, I still would like to ask you this question. That 25 billion from that 1 point increase in GCT, wouldn't that 1 point increase in GCT essentially be affecting those same poverty-stricken people that you're speaking about?
No, sir. If you understand the GCT reality, there are certain things that don't have a GCT.
Light bills have
attached to
GCT,
it.
Senator. You can't
Yes,
avoid that.
but, I
So
said
does
certain
water.
things. Just wait,
So
man,
does
give me a chance
pretty
to
much
ask
a
the
lot of
question,
other
then you
things.
rebut. You can't rebut in the answer.
Senator,
saying,
you have been using that skillfully since you come here, you know.
Yes,
You have been talking. You have to wait and for us to get our points in as well.
But listen to what I'm saying.
No, man, we have been listening. And
All
he
right,
is making a
I've
point
heard him.
that the
Yes,
GCT,
it will-
they will also have to pay more.
Yes, but they will get more. They will get more. So when the people who are the poorest of the society, they don't pay the most GCT, they don't earn the most, and they don't spend the most. However, the outcomes are going to those schools closest to their yards that get the students that have not passed sufficiently the PEP program or the GCT or whatever the name is now. So the Haile Selassie, the Donald Quarry, the Tarrant, the Denham Town, the Tivoli Gardens, those are the housers of the poorest people in our society. And not the ones that go to prep school and end up at the Campion and the Woolmers and the Immaculate. And therefore, an improved education system is most beneficial. That's why we say 1 degree per household. The households with a degree don't have the high illiteracy that we see.
Senator Crawford, we have been going at it. Senator Crawford, we have been going at it for almost an hour now. And I need to get, yes, we should. And I need to get you on the record.
Yes.
As a senator, legislator, are you a dual citizen?
No, sir.
You hold citizenship only for Jamaica?
I own citizenship only for Jamaica.
Only for Jamaica?
Only for Jamaica.
Let me ask you, as a legislator, an opposition legislator, and a member of the party of Mr. Golding, Mark Golding, what is your position? Should he renounce or what?
I think we should educate more people so that they can have greater assets available to the parliament.
Say that again?
There's a question that I would not answer on the platform right now. I want to focus on the education outcome.
Yes, but it's a very, very topical issue. It's a very...
I understand. But you understand that that is not something that we are currently discussing as a party, because we are discussing where we stand as a party in general.
Yes, but as a legislator, are you comfortable with your leader holding British and Jamaican citizenship?
I am uncomfortable with the leaders not funding education. That's my biggest discomfort.
But are you comfortable with your leader being a British and Jamaican citizen?
And I'm saying, Cliff, we'll take another hour for me to answer that, because I refuse to answer that.
Oh, you refuse? I wonder why. I wonder why.
All I'm saying is we need more funding for education.
Yes, but
1 degree per household.
But why do you refuse to answer that question?
Because if all of the people within the party goes forward to put its personal opinion, then we will be on the show debating our personal opinion among ourselves.
Is it being debated in the party? But is it being debated in the party?
It is currently being debated in the party, because the party is discussing the constitutional reform.
Oh, so this matter of Mr. Golding's dual citizenship is being discussed, being debated.
The matter of dual citizens of any kind being allowed to sit in the parliament is a central conversation within the parliamentary reform, because currently those who are of Commonwealth citizenship are allowed. And one must discuss if that is necessary to continue on the basis that there's no longer shared interest among the Commonwealth.
As a PNP, as an opposition senator belonging to the PNP, the former Prime Minister and PNP President, Percival James Patterson, made his position very clear last week.
Yes, but he said he's in the
pavilion.
Yes, I'm not in the pavilion.
You're on the field.
I'm bowling right now.
You're on the field. You're on the field. Yes. So therefore, and your captain, your leader, yes, is caught in this controversy. Yes. doesn't that take away from your concentration and your diligence as a bowler in terms of
No.
your line and
There-
length?
There is, wherever the field is set, the bowler have to decide how to bowl. But there is some political gain and loss from every single decision. I'm sure there will be some that say there's political gain from me saying education should be funded, and political loss
Is this
from me
issue
saying that there should be a 1% increase in
is
GCT.
this issue of your leaders' dual citizenship a gain or loss politically?
It depends. We actually did the poll, and we have taken that poll under advisement. We're doing our own polling as well to see where that ends. But I believe that if it is that the law changes, he has indicated that he'll be very willing to go with the law. And as a lawyer, that's a reasonable person to say that where the law goes, he will go. But there will be political losses based on the opinions, and there will be
One
political
moment,
gains
please.
with people
One moment,
that it
please.
should be
One
open
moment.
to our citizens. I have my own opinion, but
Senator
a political
Crawford.
party can't discuss personal opinions
Senator
publicly
Crawford.
every day.
Senator Crawford.
One moment.
Does Mark Golding, your PNP leader, enjoys your full support as a British Jamaican dual
As a
citizen
leader of the party,
and
as the
a
leader,
dual citizen?
that is secondary.
Oh, it
As the
is.
leader of the party who have displayed his ability to be victorious in an election, he has my full support.
And if he continues to have dual citizen, it will not affect your chances and the party's chances at the polls?
That is what we are analyzing. And if it does, then there must be pressure placed on the leader to rectify. And if it doesn't, there should be pressure placed on the party to come up with an opinion.
And there's no pressure as of this moment.
We don't have the facts as of this.
Would you be comfortable, Senator Crawford, as the Prime Minister of a republic holding a dual citizenship?
I don't know. As I say, I'm not putting my personal opinion. I understand. If we all put our personal opinions, there will be 63 PMP persons debating in the public. We will debate at the NEC, where my personal opinion will be made known, and others who are in agreement would see where the pressures go.
And you expect this to be a topic at the NEC?
Of course, this must be a topic of the NEC. The party would have been derelict in its duty if this is not a topic of the NEC.
And I put it to
not
you.
Not of the leader, but of the Constitution.
And I put it to you, Senator Crawford, that debate on this matter, certainly internally and externally, especially externally, is muted because the political calculations are that Mark Golding just led the PNP to a very good performance in the local elections.
Yes.
And he is, yes, unchallengeable as of now in the party. And you don't want to rock the boat. So you're all muted.
Well, if I am the opposition spokesperson, Cliff,
yes or no? You're muted on this issue of dual citizenship.
If I'm the opposition spokesperson, I can do way less for education than if I'm the Minister of Education. My commitment, therefore, is to become the Minister of Education instead of continuing as the opposition spokesperson.
And that is come hell or high water.
Huh?
That's come hell or high water.
I just have to put my best effort. I don't become hell or high water because sometimes the expense of high water is too high. But I put my best effort. I'll bowl the best balls that I can bowl with the hope to take the most wickets that I can take.
Senator Crawford, Senator Damion Crawford is the opposition spokesman.
An interview that was done on Nationwide with one of Jamaica's finest senators of all time. One of Jamaica's young senator who don't mince word to speak. Senator Damion Crawford. Oh Lord, look at this phone call. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Make program.
Mr. Tavares.
I didn't plan to take the call.
How are you, sir? Yes, sir. Yes, that poll that confused that about.
I beg your pardon?
Have you seen that poll, that reaction to that poll that Cliff is talking about done by Mr. Dan Anderson?
I am not talking about that, sir. I'm talking about...
No. I'm going to go to the education. I'm going to go to that.
That's what I'm talking about, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to go to that. Right? You know, the people are more thinking about the day-to-day bread and butter at the kitchen table than that dual citizenship. What Mr. Damion Crawford said is that what he has done in East Rural St. Andrew already have 32 kids went to university. So he's speaking of a track record of things we have done. I was talking to one of my friends who is a teacher in the Wagwag area. And him say they're going to have summer class this year. And they have the most registered in over 20 years for a summer class. And I asked him why. He said because Mr. Crawford pledged that his student, the parents that send more students daily to summer class will get $200,000 go down the line. He has $500,000 given away for attendance for that summer class. And because of that, parents are going to register their kids to the summer class. Right? So this man is speaking of a track record of things they have done in education for poor people.
Yes, sir.
Right? I can't see Campion and St. George's and JT of those elite of the society funding those schools, getting the same funding from government like Tyrant, Tivoli, Maxfield Avenue, yes, last school. That can't right. That can't right. JC have added to $1 billion for much $1 billion in the government. JC was paying Royal Reed is principal fee when he work in a parliament. Which teacher from Tara, you think?
Hold on for me, sir. Hold on for me. If this is really Mr. Damion Crawford, you have my number, sir.
No, it's not Damion Crawford, sir.
Hold on for me, sir. Hold on for me now, please, sir.
Okay.
Hold on for me, hold on. The numbers to call are 954-529-8030. It is also a WhatsApp number. Senator Crawford, if that is you, sir, you already have my WhatsApp number, sir. Go ahead, caller. You have 2 minutes leave.
Yes, sir, I'm saying it is impossible. It's not fair for those elite schools who have those billionaire old boys who can build a $1 billion. And all say when they have a cancer, they have kids that are doing a rain. It's not fair. And it's time for government to do something about it.
All right, sir, I have Senator Crawford calling me. Thank you for calling me.
All right, sir.
Good afternoon, Senator Crawford. How are you doing? Hold on for me. Sorry about that.
What's up?
I have been trying to get you on my program from Wapikil, Philip.
Oh, yeah? You know, we have to do work so up and down, you know?
Yes. Senator Crawford.
But I was just listening in a while ago, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you know, there's 2 programs I have to do on you, sir. One of you made a speech up in a conference speech up in oh Lord, I don't remember the name of the constituency, and your speech was very fiery.
Yeah.
Senator Crawford, the Jamaican people and people in the diaspora who's listening to you, because you're live on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. You're also live on Jam Talk Vibes Radio. It's an internet radio station owned by the Tavares Media Group.
Yeah.
Tell our people the plans that you have for education, sir. If the People's National Party should gain state power and you become Minister of Education, sir.
Well, first of all, let me thank the caller who was just online speaking in my defense.
Yes.
I'm grateful for that caller's commitment. The first thing I think that we have to understand as a people is where we are with education so that we can then understand what is necessary as we move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where we are with education is that we generally have a consistent underperformance for children at every single level of education. This is so bad that in 2023 PET,
results. Social studies had 11,581 children that did not achieve proficiency. That means that they were not even at basic proficiency in social studies. For the same year, in sciences, 12,790 children. Sometimes they disguise this by saying 49% or 38%. But this is 12,790 did not achieve proficiency in the sciences. For English language, 14,003 did not achieve proficiency. 14,003 children did not achieve proficiency after going to school for 9 years.
That's a whole lot, Senator.
Oh my God, man. Basic school and 3 years and 6 years of primary school. Mathematics, 50,374 did not achieve basic proficiency.
Yes.
That is where with education. But I'm going to go further now into safety. In the year 2021, in 11th grade, 36,748 students were enrolled in 11th grade. Only 6,323 achieved 5 subjects, including math and English. Now, for those listening overseas, this is supposedly equivalent to what is a GED. So the basic output from our secondary school should be 5 subjects of your choice, including math and English. Only 6,323 students, 17%, got a GED in the Jamaican education system. The World Bank did a study, and in the World Bank study for education, it highlighted that the Jamaican student having gone to school for 11 years receive equivalent of 7 years of quality education. So having bought uniform, paid bus fare, spend lunch money, buy books, the average Jamaican is getting equivalent of 7-year education, even though they attended for 11 years. Now that would explain why a person who is supposedly in 11th grade is failing the 11th grade exam because he is getting what then is the equivalent of 7th grade knowledge. That is simply what it means, that after 11 years, that person is getting equivalent of 7 years knowledge. It goes further to say that the Jamaican student is operating at 53% of their productivity if they were to get adequate health care and adequate education. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. I'm understanding.
The Jamaican student at age 18 is performing at 53% of his potential because his potential would have been satisfied had he received proper education and proper health care. These are the circumstances. So, when we say that we need a fix in education, it cannot be a little movement there and a little movement here, because the fundamental outcome is proving that it needs a total revamp for education. Just 2 days ago, the Ministry of Education was lamenting that they bought people, basically books, we call it electronic books, on the computer, and they were not being used. How can an e-book be used in a classroom when the student have no computer? How would the student access an e-book on his finger? Then the ministry made heavy weather, came and celebrated that they gave 10,000 laptops to secondary schools.
Yes.
Do you know how many students are at the secondary level? 240,000.
And how much again, Senator?
10,000. Anybody listening can go on Google, Favor Williams, 10,000 laptops.
They made big news, had an handing over ceremony. Now 10% of 240,000 is 24,000. I'm just putting it into context.
Yes, sir.
So less than 5% would have gotten a laptop from what the ministry made a big headline about. So the wastage of money in ebooks is not because ebooks are not quality components. It's because no teacher can use an ebook because the student have no laptop. Additionally, the teacher have no projector. So if we say, okay, they don't have a laptop, but we will then project it onto a particular space that they can see it. Many of our schools are using Carmichael for their whiteboard. We go further just to highlight some of the situations that is happening within our schools. Within our schools, the recent research says that between 28% and 34% of Jamaican students arrive at school hungry. I want you to hear what I'm saying.
Arrive
because
at school
some
hungry.
people arrive, not get hungry at school, not have lunch money, leave them yard hungry and reach school hungry.
Hold on for me, Senator.
Remember?
Hold on for me, Senator Crawford. For the people who are listening and for the naysayers, can you repeat that again for me, please, sir?
I will not only repeat, I will give them the document that they can go and read. Fox and Garden Strachan 2009. It says between 25 and 34% of school-age population in Jamaica arrives at school hungry or without having eaten anything on a given day. This is a quotation. Yes? Now, if you understand animals, so human beings are an animal.
Yes.
The animal have two functions. The first function is sustenance, to stay alive. And the second function is performance. I have a farm, for example. If I don't feed my birds, they don't lay because they transfer their energy from performance, which is laying, to sustenance, which is staying alive.
Yes.
If I don't feed my goats, they don't produce milk or they don't grow. They transfer their energies from performance to sustenance. Education is performance. So a child who have not ate would transfer their energies from performance to sustenance. If we say 33%, which is 1/3, it means almost 140,000 children today have gone to school without having ate, even before they went to school.
Could you say,
This
Senator Crawford, like how many gone to school without eating? Could you say what is the cause of that, Senator?
Well, for one, high levels of poverty.
Yes.
We have over 500,000 Jamaicans living below the poverty line. That I think at current is $2.80, but I put it at $3 per day, living below the poverty line. But $3 would mean that on average, they would not be able to buy a meal for more than $1 in the morning, US, $1 in the evening, and $1 in the afternoon. But they have other expenses. Other expenses such as like water rate, all these things are living below the poverty line. This is what has encouraged the high levels of squatting, because how many ways they can own a home? Legally, rent or buy, and illegally by squatting.
Yes.
A person living on $3 cannot rent and cannot buy. A person living on $3 can't pay water rate and light bill. A person living on $3 is in a circumstance that they can't send their children to school. Now, what is defined in the literature, when I say the literature, in the research, as chronic absenteeism that would lead to non-performance in school, is missing 21 days. That's chronic absenteeism. So in the 190 days, which is the school year, a student that missed 21 days is likely not to succeed in school. In Jamaica, almost 40% of our children are missing 21 days or more. In some rural areas, on a Thursday or a Friday, the child is withdrawn to head in the farm, preparing for market. But we also miss days because of weather due to bad infrastructure.
Yes.
We miss days because of demonstration. We missed a day just the other day, taxis were demonstrating. We miss days because of community violence. Just the other day in Hanover, some schools closed because police killed a man, 2 brothers, and retaliation. We miss days because of illness. Illness often due to lack of nutrition, all of them things. We miss days because income, parents can't afford it, especially when it's $1,000 to get to point A from point B, to get to school from yard because the school is so far from certain places. And so 21 days is an easy miss. I'm a teacher myself, so some of those who are talking all manner of crap, they have never been in a school.
I know. I
Not
know sometimes you volunteer your time with mathematics.
Sometime up to this exam year, I volunteered my time. When many of those politicians who chatting up them mouth now, right, were giving away food package to people like their pets. I was coming home every Tuesday and Thursday in COVID, doing maths on Instagram so that the students who were not in school could get a chance. I have done full syllabus of maths and put it for free on YouTube that anybody who wants to access it. I was just in my constituency at Charlemont High School doing reviews for the CXC examination. So those who are talking now kind of crap, they have never committed to education. I win with it and I lose with it. I remember when they demonstrated in East Rural about picnic camp out and education camp, right? As a caller told you, right? So anyway, what we have in this country, right, is a system that is likely the police force is now asking for accounting because so few people pass maths.
My God.
There is a reason why every single country do maths. Countries at war, countries at peace. Countries that are Christian, countries that are Muslim. You can't identify one country that don't require mathematics at every single age throughout their education system. Because a illogical state is a failed state, and mathematics is a subject of logic. What have been the intervention by these governments and this particular government? The World Bank has asked for $4 billion to be invested to recover from the learning losses from COVID. They have given $1 billion. So you go to Tasties and Tasties say, listen, $400 for the party. And you say, oh, it's $100 there. Which party are you going to get?
Not one. No, there's no.
And then you, nothing. The person behind the place might then give you a little crumb. Eh?
Yes.
And so that is what we are getting. So they claim that we are equal, right? The liars of education, that we're equal to large countries. They call them OECD countries, right? In the percent of GDP spent in education. That is similar to me going to the Benz store and say, I'm carrying 80% of my salary. Benz don't business what is 80% of my salary. Benz says $10 for the Benz.
Yes.
So if my salary don't reach to the Benz, it just don't reach to the Benz. 80% of Jamaica GDP has made our spending on education be equal to $2,000, $2,060 for the year. In the United States, it's $11,000. So when they say, oh, we are at 5.1% of GDP and the US is at 5.1% of GDP, per student, the US is spending $11,000. 5 times more than what we are spending.
You know,
and what it has...
Sorry, yes. Finish that one. Go ahead, sorry.
And what it has caused for is that our total budget for education, almost 85%, is to pay salaries and pay light bill and water rate.
Yes.
So there's nothing left in the budget to correct the ills that I have just indicated to you.
Senator, hold on for me, Senator, before you go further. My producers are asking me if I could give you my Zoom, my StreamYard link for you to come on live. Everybody can see you. Can you do that?
It's harder for me now because I am in the country.
Okay.
I'm at the farm.
No problem. Speak. Go ahead.
But
Go ahead.
just put up my picture.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
No, everybody know my bike.
Yes, indeed.
Now we come to right, and we have sat down to say, what can we do to change this circumstance that we're facing?
Yes.
All right, what can we do to invest more in education? Because all the talk that they're talking, nobody have invested for it to be that we can implement the necessary changes. You know, the government says that in the last 7 years or 8 years, they have removed 6 schools from the what you call it, the shift
Shift
system.
system, yes.
Shift system. 32 schools are left. So if the government has removed 6 schools in 8 years, you're telling me that if we continue at this rate, it take 30 years before we remove the rest?
That's impossible. But
What is the negative? What's the negative of a shift school in our current dispensation?
Mm-hmm.
The negative of a shift school is that we send home children at 12:30 when there's no adult supervision until 6.
Makes no sense.
And we also have children leaving home at 12:30 when there was no adult supervision from 7 a.m. Almost raising themselves, leading to them to be heavy recruits for gang activity, and leading to them to be heavy recruits of sexual predators. In 10 years, between 2011 and 2023, 2011 and 2021, 60,000 Jamaican young girls had a baby before the age of 16.
Wow. 60,000
Not
Jamaicans?
1,000, not 60,000. People can go Google it. Because, you see, when we don't like reading, we end up with some ghosts that will lay down at meat shop.
True.
Right? Not seeing the sign, meat shop.
And
go on Google. Exactly. Because they're going to lay down in the wrong place.
True.
60,000 young girls, the majority of whom were in poverty, the majority of whom attended non-traditional schools. So when a person said to me, what are we going to change if we get the opportunity? I can't speak for everybody because I'm not the final arbiter.
Right.
But I can tell you what needs to be changed because I've lived it. I've lived it as a teacher. I've lived it coming from the inner city and getting a chance to go to a traditional school and seeing all my friends go to non-traditional schools. I've seen schools with 53 people in a class and 40 minutes to teach them. And they have no book, they have no calculator, they have no geometry set. They don't eat from morning. I did an extra class at Denham Town, 10 a.m. on a Monday. The girls, her head was on the decks. She didn't eat from morning. This is Monday. She never had enough because Sunday dinner left over. Right? And then every student knew the remedy to her discomfort. Drink a soda. Sir, buy her a soda. That is what we have in this country. So what is the solution?
Hold on for me, Senator Crawford. You remember when when I was going to school, I was born in the 70s. And I remember going to school back in Westmoreland. That you used to have what they call it, is it Nutribun and Bulgur and all those things? Yes.
Yes.
So they're not in school anymore, Senator Crawford?
Just last year, again, everything can be Googled. The principals highlighted that they ran out of money for PATH program lunches. So the government gives some money for lunches for students on PATH program. It is a ridiculous concept because we act as if there's only 2 types of people in Jamaica, rich and poor. There are so many people not on PATH program that is on the fringe of PATH program. And nobody facilitates those students. So when you check this situation, the principals were saying that they only get lunch for 3 days. 3 days.
3 days.
For 3 days a week, they were getting lunch for these students.
Let me ask a
Now-
question, Senator Crawford.
Yes.
Remember your thoughts, please. Let me ask you this question, though.
Yes.
Do you know how much lunch cost in the schools nowadays for students? How many students are on part program lunch? And how much will that
The
cost?
government has distributed $260 per child. The average lunch is $450 to $600. And so the school have focused on just having something in the plate because nutrition cannot be provided with the allocation that have been.
Dear God in heaven.
So when I see people coming to say it is hard, these are the things that are hard. So what are some of the things I believe must happen if we are to improve education in this country?
Yes.
The first thing is that we must commit ourselves to one meal per child. Once the child is in school, we must commit ourselves to this child getting one meal. Right? That have a cost to it. If we should put $500 to a meal, then we're going to get a cost of about, 90 days, maybe $38 billion. The budget that we have is $1.3 billion. So it is $1,300 billion. So when we are talking about 38, we are talking about 3% of the budget.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, I understand
But
what
we
you're saying.
purpose to give it to Bushin. Now you explain to me, how is it that we can't afford one meal per child in school, but we can afford 3 meals per adult in prison?
Senator, hold your thought there for me. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Please, Senator, don't go anywhere. Hold on for me, please.
Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force, in association with the Global Jamaican Diaspora Council, presents We Want Change. Jamaicans.
Unity strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption.
Welcome back, Senator, to the program. Senator Damion Crawford is on the line with us. Thank you for calling us, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So we have to go one meal per child in school.
Yes.
Now, some people are going to come and say, yo, the parents will do it. And that might be true. But this is how I see life. They are the one that should get the punishment. If the parent don't provide it, why should the child be punished? That is what we are advocating, That if John don't do what John should do, Mary, who is the child of John, should be punished. There's no justice in such an approach. So therefore, the child who didn't ask to come here, the child who was just unlucky to be the child of either a worthless or incapable parent. Because we have children of disabled people. We have children of people who were able but were murdered. We have children of people who were able but met in an accident.
Yes.
We have children. So sometimes when we just broad brush, oh, everybody wants this and this and that. We have people used to work on diabetes, make them lose them sight.
True.
We have people used to...
Hello, Senator? Uh-oh. What's going on here? Senator? Oh, Lord. Hello, Senator, you there?
Yeah, man, they definitely really want you to hear this today. You know?
Yeah, you're going to talk, man. You're gonna come through in the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. so let us show the multiplicity of children in circumstances that is not even what business of their parents. But even so, the burden of their parents' witnesses should not be for the child to bear.
No.
I said 1 meal per child in school. This is not out of my brain alone. The World Health Organization and the FAO, the food whatever organization, they say that schools should be used for to promote healthy eating habits and lifestyle, to tackle nutritional problems within a society because of the catchment of students and the direct contribution to the child themselves. So when you give money to the parent, the child don't get it directly and might not even get most of it. The school having a lunch program or a proper breakfast program so that the child gets 1 meal is the first cog that we must do to change our education outcomes. Because I've already told you, 140,000 went to school hungry.
My God.
Good?
140,000 students in our country, Jamaica, where this Prime Minister is saying is prosperity. This Prime Minister, along with his other people, are dubbing the best prosperity in the history of Jamaica. When 140,000 of our children go to school hungry. Go ahead, Senator Crawford.
Well, that is 33%. 33% of 450,000. So we come again now. Right? For early childhood, only 15% of the spaces are government owned. And they have come with this big thing called brain builders. The brain builders is supposed to be between 0 and 3 years old. Them call it the first 1,000 days.
Yes.
The government have implemented less than 6,000 spaces for brain builders. In that age group, we have 105,000 students. 99,000 students don't have a space in the brain builder. And them spend how much money and make how much thing and come on TV and announce it. Of the 105,000 children between the age of 0 and 3, the government can only facilitate 5,000 something, less than 6,000.
My God.
Right? So the first thing is that we must change this whole thing to a system of homeschooling so that parents know each day when a child born January 1st, what I should do January 2nd, what I should do January 3rd, and to promote that, encourage that. Our children are consuming rum like there's no tomorrow. I don't see an advertisement from government, not even an advertisement to say that this is not the right way to go.
Red Bull, something like that?
Yes, special, from morning till night. The schools are reporting that they're soaking gummy bears in rum just to sneak it in. They're addicted at this particular point in time.
Jesus have his mercy.
Right? They are consuming all kind of drugs in our days. Ganja was the only thing to be concerned about. Now ecstasy and Mali and all manner of evil is in the schools. I don't see an advertisement. We not even reach to say we don't see a program or a policy. I don't see the government buy airtime to just put out some statement to say, dear children, this is not the way to go. This is a negative. Okay.
But yet the government can put out on certain radio stations in Jamaica can hear This time signal or this weather report or
Exactly.
whatever is bought by the Prime the Office of the Prime Minister.
Exactly. Millions of dollars spent on promotion. Right? Now, I come back to say that at least 1/5 of the school's population should have access to a laptop, meaning the school should have it in its control.
Yes.
So that it can rotate it to each year group. So if it's 2 hours on a Monday to 7th grade, and then 2 hours to 8th grade, and then 2 hours to 9th grade, and then you got 2 hours on a Tuesday to 10th grade, and then 2 hours 11th grade. So if you only putting in 60 laptops to 1,700 people and 1,500 people, what sense that?
Makes no sense at all.
What sense? Right? I'm saying we must invest in 40% or at least 30% boarding facilities.
Mm-hmm.
In boarding facilities, you can separate the child from the community if it is that you need behavior modification. No matter how him rate teacher, when him go home back to the influences and the negativity of the people who influence him at home, it becomes a problem.
Mm-hmm.
In boarding, the people who live very far and cannot afford the cost. Some students paying $1,300 to get to school, $1,500 to get to school and back.
My God in heaven.
Many parents cannot afford that. So boarding schools need to come in so that those children who live far, because let me explain something. We have almost 1,010 total schools.
Yes.
170 of which is secondary school, and then we have nearly 900 primary schools. And that is because the primary school had to be close to your yard. So we kind of build primary school everywhere so people kind of can walk to a primary school from everywhere. However, when it reaches secondary school, you have people that is leaving for miles to try and get to a secondary school. And instead of taking the NHT money that we're taking out to supplement the budget and build boarding facilities under the concept that this is housing for children.
Yes.
We use it to chop bush and buy food packages.
You know, as you talk about food packages, Senator Crawford, at a speech that you gave about a week ago, I was listening to it, and let me make something clear to you, that whenever you're going anywhere to speak, you know, and from I can get a live feed, I bring it live on my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Because
they don't want to hear what we are saying now, because they want to be fooled, to be enemies of themselves. They want to be given rum and boom and zinc fence and plywood. They don't want to see a situation that their children don't suffer the same negatives that they have suffered. And I keep telling these people in Jamaica, there's no place for the uneducated anymore. Machine have replaced muscle. Premix truck replace all who are plant to mix cement. Weed whacker replace all who are chop bush. Washing machine replace all who are wash clothes.
But Senator Crawford,
the world is based on the mind.
But Senator Crawford, most of our children nowadays, our young men, they're in the thing of chopping, the chop here and the chop there.
Well, first of all, you ever hear them the heights of great men reached and kept?
We're not attained by sudden flight, but while their companions slept, they were turning upward through the night.
Many choppers will reach but not keep.
My God.
Zeke did reach. Dodos did reach. Natty Marvel did reach. Sandakan did reach. Dopey Film did reach. Dark Paw did reach. Jim Brown did reach. Bebe did reach. Jasper did reach. They did not keep. So our youth them know we're trying to reach at 21 and dead at 22. Go right ahead if that's what you choose.
Our nation
because I know all my friends that went to university and is in their 40s now is making 10 million, 11 million, 9 million a year. And they will make that and more than that for the next 20, 30 years. They cannot do the same for the choppers. One might reach, but 30, 40, 50 dead.
Are dying prison in the United States.
Yes. See? Some of our girls now, them spend money from bottom and breast, none from brain.
And these long fingernails and hairs.
And they walk around and say, oh, their only ability is their sexual ability. And people have them now suck off toe and do all manner of nastiness. And when we say, we need to now correct that by putting in socialization in school. The first period of school that ends at 2:30 should be for education, academics. The second part of school should be up to 4:30 and should be for socialization. Why are we sending home children at 2:30 when their parents leave work at 5:30?
Makes no sense.
But there must be an investment in making sure there's clubs and societies for them to participate and homework school for them to participate. When I finish the mathematics and teach a youth and send him home with homework to a parent who can't read, what are helping?
You know, this country is in a serious dilemma, Mr. Senator Crawford.
So when I come out and say that we need to fund education, it's not out of whims and fancy. And I am not in the authority to say where the money should come from, but the money should come.
Yes.
By any means necessary.
But Senator Crawford,
the government contribution per child is $17,000 for the year.
Yes. But
the school is getting $17,000 for every child we go to the school. That can educate a child?
Absolutely not.
Not US, Jamaican.
Mm.
And then we turn around and say, teacher, what this? What more can a teacher do? Teachers are now buying lunch or picnic out of them calories.
The nation it's somewhere that I always say on this program, Senator Crawford, that Jamaica is knocking behind Haiti's back door. But is it really knocking behind Haiti's back door, or are we going down spiritual hill back way?
We are going in a direction that are putting our kids at 18 in situations that they are going to be enemies of themselves until they're 60 and enemies of the society by extension. And instead of investing, we tell lies about, it's the biggest part of the budget. That has nothing to do with nothing. How much is it that is necessary for a equitable and valuable education? Why is it that some schools don't have no club, don't have no track team, don't have no sporting activities, and some schools are 28 and 29? So therefore, if we don't change our school day to 4:30, so that Monday and Wednesday we have homework classes manned by teachers in the environment for study, instead of sending them home for babysit, like we don't know, instead of sending them to taxi stand to go stand up until 5 o'clock and drive in a front seat to the whole day, instead of sending them to go over community center to gamble with one another till them stab up each other over who win and who lose, Aki and Koto. On a Monday and on a Wednesday, homework classes. We must therefore remunerate some students at the university, some people within the community to be facilitators. Let me show you the dunceness of this government and these people. They have put in what they call community internet spaces in the public main roads, in the town. How can a child formulate an environment for study if he has to go in the big brawling town?
You got access, internet access.
Jesus Christ, man.
And this is what I don't
understand.
And
don't say people are come attack.
I tell you something, Senator Crawford. I don't know if you're aware. I'm gonna go off a track a little bit. I don't know if you're aware of a group of Jamaicans who decide to protest against the level of corruption and nepotism, the level of where education is in our country, no water for our people. a group of Jamaicans
Yes,
decided
I
to.
saw that.
Yes. And one of the reasons why I went off track with that now to say this to you, sir, that when we go out there and we demonstrate, people are saying to us that we're enemy of the state, we're enemy of Jamaica, we bring down brand Jamaica. What you're saying to us now, if this is not saying that brand Jamaica is in trouble, when we have our children is not accessing food to go to school, and our teachers are leaving the education institution as if it's going out of style. If that doesn't bring down brand Jamaica, then I don't know what is bringing down brand Jamaica.
Well, everybody can say anything that they want, right? Because what I have found is people talk for their political party and their different biases. They might not talk for the nation, right? Nobody can accuse me of not being a patriot. I have fought for Jamaican people. I've been battered. Remember when I tell them about goat and them laugh after me?
I remember
I'm still continue to tell them.
Yes.
Right? We want every 7th grader to be in the uniform corps, that they must participate in cadet, they must participate in Girls Guides, they must participate in Brownie, so that they can now start to get exposure to what is discipline, the ability to conform. That takes money. One Girls Guide uniform almost $9,000. And if the school don't provide it, many students will not be able to participate.
Dear God.
Good? So when we come out and say that we want these things, it is not without consideration. But they continue to do things that are immaterial.
Yes.
The Prime Minister says that we have 26,000 students, young men, who need heart intervention. And then goes to Parliament and announces that he will give 30 per constituency, like none of we know man. 30 per constituency is 30 times 63. That is less than 2,000. And he said 26,000. He said it. And then he goes again. And so what I'm saying, when I say this better I come out now about unconscionable, what can be more unconscionable than what I have outlined?
Very much so, sir.
And it is left unabated. The minister acts not as if nothing is wrong. Our children are killing each other. Once upon a time, you have to be concerned about boys with violence. Now every time you look, girl fight girls. And girl fight boys.
Wow.
If these things don't change.
Do you think this will ever change, Senator Crawford? What is going on in the country where our country is so divided? And when we come out and we speak truth to power, sir, and try to educate the masses of the people, sir, do you think that they're taking us seriously?
The best war to fight is against soldiers who are fighting themselves.
Yes.
Because you not do nothing, they will kill themselves. The vast majority of Jamaicans are enemies of themselves. So you see, when you go to them and tell them things, them are ridicule you. They perceive you as an enemy. Because they have become enemies of themselves. When you say to them, listen man, let us invest in our children so that they don't go down the corner of separation that we went around. I realize that the lion teacher come out to hunt. Even though teacher come out to hunt, it will dead stay hungry. But at the same time, the zebra better teach him pick me out to shit. Because if he not teach him pick me out to shit, the lion will eat him. So we must equip our children with the tools. My father never drive a car in his life. He died and never drive a car. I've been to places where we have driver. That is what investment does. But we don't want to invest. They have put in a system that makes the traditional schools, whose parents are willing to pay, be even better than the non-traditional schools by claiming that they don't have to pay. So when you go to the Haile Selassie, where 10 parents are paid, it will perform way less than the Arden that 90% that parents pay. And the government facilitate that by keep on announcing you don't have to pay. Well, if they don't have to pay, where's the money you're giving? So the point I'm making is, I cannot speak to how the money should be raised. That is the Minister of Finance and by extension our spokesperson on finance.
Yes.
That's the ambit of the Prime Minister. So I would have been disrespectful and out of order to say, take it from GCT. But I'm saying we need 25 billion right now.
And based on that, you think that if they raise GCT, it can assist with it, right?
We have $1 trillion budget, $1.3 trillion budget. If I can just take a time to teach the listeners how budget works.
Go ahead, sir. You have all time, sir. Go ahead.
The budget, I want to go back to my work. I'm about them I'm checking my clock.
No, but you know, I know you have to, but you can go ahead with this one.
Yes. The budget have 3 segments. The government budget.
Yes.
It have the salaries, which must be paid no matter who's in power. It have the debt that must be paid no matter who's in power.
Mm-hmm.
And then it have the discretionary. That is the component that is left after you pay salary and debt. The elections that we compete in is to determine how would that discretionary amount be spent.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, a government can do anything that it wants, but it can't do everything that it wants.
Yes.
I want you to understand the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Any single thing that the government accepts as its priority, it has sufficient money to do that single thing. But when you spend on more on item A,
mm-hmm.
then you can spend less on item B. So it can do anything, but it can't do everything. If we have $800 billion left as discretionary, and we say we're spending $200 billion on education, we can.
Mm-hmm.
But it means you might have to spend less on road fixing.
Yes.
Or you might have to spend less on whatever else that they make up in their mind that they want to do. But if we don't spend on education, we'll always have to spend more on security.
Mm-hmm.
I said to the people, we want 1 degree per household. Every single house in Jamaica in the next 15 years, if God bless me to make decisions for this country, should have 1 degree. Why? Because the households with degree don't have the hunger that we're seeing. The hunger in the households are not likely to be the degreed households.
Yes.
The illiteracy is not likely to be degreed households. The incompetence to go to hospital is not likely to be the degreed households. The criminal participation is less likely to be the degreed households. All the problems that we have indicated that there are less in households with degrees. So why are we not committed to getting households with degrees?
I think. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I could say, the 25 billion to come from the budget. I've also indicated that if there's a 1% GCT, that is the 25 billion that we need.
Mm-hmm.
I've also indicated that the money we're taking from Heart and the money that we're taking from NHT, that can contribute to. So it wasn't one thing when we said these are the possibilities for the 25 billion. The key point is that we cannot continue to fund education where only the salaries and the light bill is paid.
Makes no sense.
And I will not back from that one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But Senator Crawford, don't you think, because in the United States, when you go to a convenience store, you see the lotto machines, you see how many billions is donated to education and so forth. Jamaica has Supreme Ventures out there. Are you aware of some of those, dividends go towards education?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's about that, but I know that it goes to the Chase Fund, and then the Chase Fund might then secondarily fund education. I'm not sure.
Is it Chase Fund, the consolidated fund you're talking about?
No, man. The Chase Fund is the something like for art, science. Yes. I'm gonna look it up now on the phone just to remind you what the Chase Fund is.
Yes.
Right. But a lot of the money from gambling goes to the Chase Fund.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking to Senator Damion Crawford. He was gracious enough to call the program to speak to us some more on what is going on in the education system in Jamaica. Go ahead, Senator.
So the culture, health, art, sports, and education fund. So yes, that is where a lot of the gambling money goes to, and I would presume that by extension it might help with some education stuff. Yeah.
Senator Crawford, I know you have to go to your business because when you tell the Jamaican people in Portland to take a goat more than handout, they laugh at you. And now you have a striving business going on there with both eggs and a goat farming business, eh?
Yes. Well, some days it's striving, some days it's not, but that's business.
Yes.
I want to make sure Jamaican people know that Grace Kennedy is over 100 years old. It never started as big as Grace Kennedy. Yes. So what me I try build is really for my daughter, it's not for me, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So some days it's good, some days it's bad, you know, the weather now is a problem, drought is a problem, and it has created great expenses.
Oh Lord.
But when I hear this guy done query or whatever he want to make, which but when me hear them attack, I mean that is what I've outlined.
Yes. Senator Crawford.
You understand?
Yes, sir. You have anything more to say to your Jamaican people and to members of the Jamaican diaspora?
Well, definitely to the people of Jamaica, I'm saying to you, be strident in defending a change because what is current cannot work. And when I say change, I don't mean just change of government. A change of the system that makes if the grandmother poor, the grandpicnic almost automatically poor. And if the grandfather rich, grandpicnic almost automatically rich. The next revolution must be for social change so that we can have a transition from street sweepers to doctors. And that was what Michael Manley stood for.
Senator Crawford, I have to ask you two things before you go though. Your views on dual citizenship and the constitution reform. Do you think that Jamaicans should have a say in the election of their prime minister or their president? And one
I'm going to focus on just the president part because there's internal discussion around the dual citizenship component.
No,
right?
I was going to ask you about Mr. Golden being dual citizenship because a lot of them on the other side is dual citizen. So I won't go down that road. I'm just asking your views on it.
If your answer is A, let us say that my answer is dual citizen should not sit. Then it applies to Mr. Golden.
Okay,
and if I say dual citizen should sit, it applies. Either way, it applies. Yes. But the president of the country is not the same as Barack Obama, for example.
I know.
The president is the governor general.
Right.
But he's not termed a governor general because he no longer answers to the king or the queen of England. So in this case, the powers of the president are not sufficient, in my view, to create a necessity for an election among the citizens. One of the negatives of an election among the citizens, in my view, is that the president then becomes a political figure, meaning PMP will put up a president candidate and JLP will put up a president candidate. And we will campaign and one will win. There is a probability that you have a JLP prime minister and a PMP president. And vice versa. And that might put a difficult working relationship trust doesn't exist because the president's desire would be for the PMP to be in power.
Right.
And the prime minister desire would be for the JLP to be in power.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the prime minister should recommend the president to a committee of electors. Like how you see that in the Senate when a judge is being sent,
Right.
they have to go to the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a joint select committee, and the public should be able to make comments and to write in and to whatever about the elected person.
Yes.
But if you have an election, I believe it's the same thing with the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
The way the current system is set up is that the government have the most senators. People are saying we want to elect the senators, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you may have a JLP Senate and a PMP Parliament. So when the bill come up from the Senate to the Parliament, from the Parliament to the Senate,
Mm-hmm.
the JLP block it.
Mm.
And then nothing happens in the country. If you watch the US elections, you will see that sometimes the US Senate blocks the US lower house.
Yes.
And then you have a gridlock and nothing can happen. So the way the British parliamentary system operates is that other than constitutional matters, simple majority allows for the things to pass.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So
Yes.
so everything would again have a loss. And I think the losses of electing the president
Mm-hmm.
are greater than the gain with the powers that he has. He doesn't have great power.
Yes. Do you believe in fixed election date and recalls of MPs?
Again, there's pros and cons. If you have fixed election dates, it allows for big groups within the society to delay negotiations to the point of political power. So you have that negative of a fixed election date.
Mm-hmm.
Britain have started with fixed election date and have given up on it moving forward. So I don't know. I don't know what the great negative is of the Prime Minister being able to call an election within 5 years. I don't know what the great negative is. But I don't see a negative to fix election.
Because he was the one who promised the people fixed election date. And I sort of
Well, unlike, there's some people say anything that you think people want to hear, you know. You understand?
Yes.
And then there's others that say, let me read it out and see if it makes sense.
True.
You understand?
True.
So when you look for, let's look at a seat like, let me say a seat always close. Give me a seat that's always ding dong battle. So St. Andrew, Eastern.
Yes.
No man, I just buck up Smith and win Westmoreland there. St. Andrew Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
That ding dong battle. In St. Andrew Eastern, we have about, let us say it's 10,000 voters or 12,000 voters. We have about 5,500.
Yes.
And JLP have 5,500. At any given point, PMP have 5,500 committed to PMP.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to have a recall, at any given time, we can get all the PMP to sign against us.
Mm.
You understand? Because they are committed just to the party.
Yes.
So you imagine if election finish, PMP 32 and JLP 31.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to have very strong bases that a recall can only happen if A, B, C, or D. But if a recall is automatic once it is triggered by signatures, we'd be in problem.
Mm.
Because you have enough PMP and JLP signatures to implement a recall. So if you say that if a man is found guilty of illicit enrichment,
yes,
then you can then seek signatures for a recall.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with that. But if you say that 1/3 of the electorate should be dissatisfied with his performance, then it is going to have us in an election every week.
I see where you're
Because if you if CMP call for a recall and then win, what do you think JLP about it?
Call for a recall, too.
So then they must recall back.
Yes.
So some of these things were so sweet when you really delve into it.
Yes.
If you should say that you petition a recall against me, can I re-enter?
If you I don't can you? I don't think so.
But must, because you can't disqualify me.
Oh.
I've done something that disqualifies me.
Yes.
A recall should only call an election.
So we
But I must be able to go.
Yes.
To run.
Yes. So we have to be very careful when we talk about recall.
That's what I think.
Yes.
When I analyze what are the possibilities of a recall. We already have recall every 5 years. Every 5 years, we call an election, and you can say we no longer want you.
True.
So if I would say if they do certain things that are illegal, like how you see rule their court now. If he was an MC, I would believe that a recall would be reasonable. But if it is initiated solely and only by numbers, we risk having constant political upheaval.
Senator Crawford, I know you have to go, but I need to ask you this, then I'll let you go. Your views, your views on the Prime Minister not declaring his statutory declaration.
Well, he has declared.
Well, yes.
It just has not been passed.
It not been verified, yes.
Yeah, it has not been verified. And I don't know why it has not been verified. So, because I don't know why it has not been verified, I am waiting to get more information. Okay. Of course, I'm concerned that it's not verified. So, suppose next week we find out that it hasn't been verified because in 10,000 value 10,000 and they think it is value 11,000. You understand?
Yes.
Or suppose it's that in the start of business and then he didn't file that the business closed. I don't know what it is that they have said, why they haven't verified it. So when the information, what is the thing happening now is that a lot of us are assuming something because it's taking so long, and that's reasonable. People see closure. But me personally, as a politician, is waiting to hear what could be the reason why he's not verified. And if the reason is negative, then the voters should act accordingly.
Yes. I know you're running for the chairman for life seat in is it
man, Northwest St. Catherine.
Yes. Tell us some more about that now.
Oh, well, first of all, let me hear the people from Blue Island Vale, from Newarton, from Lindsay, Trelawny. We performed very well, and congratulations to the councillors. We got all 4 of our councillors.
In the local government election?
In the local government. And by margin, well, I will pass it on to the councillors, but some of them was winning by 1,400, 1,050, 1,014, 600. I mean, they got a shellacking. We have been working. We're now working on some projects in the community to make sure they have access to infrastructure and water. But I am also focusing on the education component, and they have taken on to it. It's a community that have a lot of people working in bauxite, a lot of farmers, a lot of teachers, and so they have really bought into some of the things that I've been preaching. And I realize that sometimes Jonah can't be comfortable until Jonah reached where God wanted him to go.
And
maybe that's why. Yeah. So I hear the JLP opponent saying that he can't believe how the people have gravitated to me. And I'm saying, why would they choose Judas over Jonah, They'll always choose Jonah over Judas.
Indeed.
But it is what it is. But I am enjoying it, and I am still pushing my concepts because, I mean, a lot of people who weren't successful in their time have lived on longer than those who were successful.
True.
We don't have to go further than Marcus Garvey, who people run out of town, sold Marcus Garvey for rice. He was so disappointed that he migrated. We are now saying we should teach his concepts in school. So sometimes you might not reach the promised land, but continue to campaign for what is right, because right will outlive wrong.
Indeed, indeed. Senator Crawford.
Respect, brother. Thanks for the time.
Yes, you're welcome. So before you go, my wife, sister is a teacher in St. Elizabeth. I'm pretty much sure one of these days you can go down to St. Elizabeth and teach one of the schools down there.
Which school?
Oh Lord, I don't remember, you know, but I'll let you know. I have your number, so I'll let you know.
Yes, man. We got give a link up.
Indeed.
Right.
Senator Damion Crawford, thank you for calling in, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much. That was one of Jamaica's finest senator of all time. A young man who don't mince words. He continues speaking up for the poor class of Jamaicans in the education system. He don't believe that the younger Jamaicans should be digging out the hand. More can be done for them, and more must be done for them. You know, and I want to say thanks for Senator Crawford. These are the things I like when you send out your live. Because I did send my live to his phone number, and he began to watch it and everything, and he decided to come on the chat, and can he call in? And I want to say, thanks, Senator Crawford. Thank you so much for coming on to educate the listeners, the viewers of the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Thank you so much, sir. And I want to wish you all the best in your endeavors when it comes on to represent the people of St. Catherine. What did you say? St. Catherine? So I don't remember. But the old seat of the former Minister of Water, the former statesman, Robert Bobby Pickersgill, chairman for life for the People's National Party. Thank you so much, Senator Crawford, for coming on. The numbers to call is 954-529-8030. What do you think about what Senator Crawford just spoke to us about? That's the numbers to call. It's also a WhatsApp number. Call into the program. My. Believe me, I wanted to play something here, you know, that it was a fiery speech given to us by Senator Damion Crawford. Let me see if I can get it. It was a fiery speech. I bring it live on my YouTube channel. Let's see if I can get it. If no calls have come in as yet. Let me see if I can get it here. It was a fiery speech given by Senator Damion Crawford. I think it's in yeah. Hold on for me. Let me see if we can get it here.
Comrades, as was indicated to you, a lot of people don't know that between May and September, we have over 300 conferences, because every single division, every single constituency, every single region must have a conference. So
turn off your TV in the background, please. Good evening to you, sir. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
Yeah, I just called you, pick up my MP, you know. I was talking to you a while ago.
Yes. What? So, where you're from St. Catherine?
Yeah, called you all a while.
Okay.
Lidersville.
Lidersville, yes. Yes. Thank you very
much.
Man. Thank you.
I have to use him, man.
Yes.
I say education is the thing I believe in.
Yes.
You never believe in education. And that's what I'm pushing.
Yes.
So, don't think last week I was at a school fear in youth and secondary, and he was there.
Okay, okay.
And talking about a lot of things I want to introduce into his school.
Yes.
You know, all those things kind of good, you know.
Indeed, indeed, my friend, indeed.
Yeah.
So you call
I mean, tell you enough, ask him to come on your programming.
So hold on. So did you call him a while ago? Because I reached out to him, but I didn't get an answer from him because
I sent him a team, but that time when you tell me it was in Antigua. I think it was Antigua I was in at that time.
Yes.
Yeah, I never home at that time.
All right, my friend, he came and I must say thanks too. Thank you too. Thank you for calling in.
All right, sir.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. You're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tavares.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, the city that never sleeps. New York, New York. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Well, I listen most of the program with Senator Crawford before I'm calling on room and people. Some pregnant thing is it broad spectrum of stuff, and you have a program that if implemented, even 50% will do a lot for this Jamaica school and the Jamaican students. But one thing I wanted to ask from the first section is when you talk about the immigration of teachers or migration, what about the retired pool of teachers? Any program that have been managed or put forward that they could bring them some incentive to bring some of those retired teachers still living in Jamaica back to the classroom?
What I will do, I will try find out that for you, and I will try find out from Senator Crawford if he have anything put in place for that, if in case he should win and become the education minister for Jamaica.
And not only retired teachers, but retired professionals.
Yes.
So there's a broad spectrum of people in it. But overall, wonderful program, mucho info, very informative, and well done. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much, sir. Hello, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. Good evening.
How you doing?
I am here looking and living like Mutty Perkins.
That's good. That's awesome. You're better than Jamaican, eh?
I wouldn't say that at all.
Of course. You don't see the dilemma that they're all going through, although some fail to admit to it, but even the blind can see pretty clear.
Yes.
Yeah, I was listening to Damion Crawford just now, and myself as a previous teacher in Jamaica, if it don't make you cry to see what the education system is now, then you don't have a heart. I mean, like, I'm not here to stay long because I'm at work, but nevertheless, the fact that education have deteriorated so much to the fact that we're having SBA and multiple choice, and kids are still failing so rampantly, it's a shame.
Yes.
It's a big shame, and I mean, like, I have followed you a lot. I have listened to you. I've listened to most of the positive Jamaican shows that actually is for Jamaica, not for politics.
Yes.
And you guys have strengthened a lot of people. You guys have motivated a lot of people. You guys have given hope to a lot of people.
Thank you.
I mean, like, for fact, I am so stressed just to actually see and to hear the stuff that is going on there. And because I invest a lot in Jamaica. I have big investment in Jamaica. I am for the kids. I'm just like Damion Crawford. And so I can testify to every single thing that he's saying coming from experience.
Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm actually calling from the Cayman Islands.
Oh, my second home.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, like, if you're in the Cayman Islands, you can find me at Discovery Point Club. I run the Discovery Point Club, basically.
I don't know if you know, do you know Dr. Steve Tomlinson over there?
Not sure. It's pretty small. I mean, him as another name, but it's pretty small.
He used to own the Chrissy Tomlinson Memorial Hospital. It's now Doctor's Hospital.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I helped to build that hospital, and I used to work there for many years.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
That sounds good. Yeah. So it's very depressing for lovers of kids and lovers of Jamaica to to see what is basically transpiring now. And I mean, as he said, it's going to take a lot. And I saw the thing with Cliff Hughes and always trying to put word into people's mouth. But I wonder, how do he live with himself, basically? Because
I don't know how he live with himself. Paula, I have to limit the calls that are coming in. Sorry.
no, you're right. I know that for sure. I know that for sure. But yes, sir. Okay, cool. Bye. Take care.
Bye bye. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I just have to give my little 2 cents in terms of the education system in Jamaica. Your previous caller mentioned some things about students doing exams and it's multiple choice and they're still failing. I have a good idea of what happens in Jamaica, being that, I have people in Jamaica who teach and stuff, and I was a teacher there too. Yes, I was.
Okay.
So, what is happening is that they are trying to basically, as Jamaica over, they try to copy what is happening in the foreign countries. And as the previous senator says, you're copying what another place is doing, and he mentioned the use of technology. And they're trying to copy the style or what curriculum children in another country are using, and trying to tell the teachers in Jamaica that's what they need to do and that's what they need to teach the children. The children are doing mental ability in a text, and you say, of these objects, find the one that is different. And to put items from a sport that they don't even know about or are familiar with. Children in Jamaica know about maybe a baseball, a football, and a football doesn't have to be an American football. They put odd things that have names in America that are not familiar to the children in Jamaica, or sports, or they reference sports that are not familiar to the children in Jamaica. So that's one of the main problems. The other thing is you have teachers teaching up to the PEP exam, and all they're doing at that time is teaching up to the PEP exam, right? And when after PEP exam is over, then they're trying to bring extra curriculum stuff like home and family guidance and counseling. They do social studies prior, but all these extra courses that were not taught from the beginning for teachers now who are not specialists in those areas, that one teacher to teach all of those subject areas. That is not feasible. When you have a teacher who didn't do music and you put them to teach music, if you're in an elementary school up here, you take the children to specials. So those are called specials. So you have a teacher who is a specialist in that area, go on, you take them to that special class. But when you have one teacher and you're going to burden that one teacher to teach them, get them ready for PEP and blah, 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 and whatever, and they might have math competitions and whatever, and that one teacher does all of that. Plus, now, when they're finished with the PEP exam, then you're going to bring in all these other subjects and stuff that this one teacher now has to also teach.
Yes, Paula, I want to say, sorry, but I have about 5 calls, one behind each other, lining up. I want to tell you thanks for calling. Just give you a point before you go. That's 1 minute before you go. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that so if you're going to enforce on teachers in Jamaica to teach the way a foreign country does, then they have to provide the resources.
Yes. All right. Thanks very much.
They have to provide the resources. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. So many calls coming in. The calls hung up a while ago. Oh, here it is. Hello, welcome to the Make We Talk program. You're live.
Hello.
Please turn off your TV in the background. When you make a call, I'm asking you all, turn off your device in the background. It's having a feedback in the studio.
Turn on like we have.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the 1%. 1% of GTC other 1%.
Yes.
Because in normal command we are spending, you want to see the difference between the 16 and the 17%, but that would be a big interest for the education, straight to the education. What I don't want it to be a mix in the consolidated fund. And that's what I mean. If you throw it in there, you not get it back out. So if it go directly straight to education, I don't find a problem with it. It would be a good idea.
Okay.
Because I am a person as we call for the government to spend $12.6 billion out of $1 trillion budget on the road, and each MP should get 200 million per year. So when a program come in, like the program where they buy new 6 road now, and a once in every 5 years that I come in, nobody no MP now just satisfied with it. So you have all the bad road in Jamaica. So same thing with the 1% where should go to the education. Increase GTC by 1% because it's going for a good cause. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. The numbers are 954-529-8030. Nine 954-529-8030. That's the numbers to call. There were some people calling in. Oh Lord, I have 14 missed calls. Wow. Let me call back this number here. Let me call back this. Hello, you are calling the Equator program to come on? Okay, all right, no problem. Thanks. Yes. The numbers to call is 954-529-8030. We're talking to Senator Damion Crawford, one of Jamaica's senators who don't mince words. The numbers to call is 954-529-8030. You know, when you sit and listen to what Senator Crawford say, you know, all of what he's saying makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. And believe you me, if those should be implemented in Jamaica, I think it would be very good. I personally think it would be very good. We understand that there is people who do not want the world to see our beautiful country. Impose, please, negative less. We are coming in. Are you aware of something that is going on? I think you all should go to the Jamaica Gleaner, you know. The Jamaica Gleaner has something in there. The Jamaican ambassador to Washington, D.C., Miss Audrey Marks, is the embassy of Jamaica and the Jamaican government is disassociating themselves from Mr. Vegas. Mr. Vegas and all diaspora leaders who have been in the embassy to find ways to show their love and standing against. One moment. Hello, good night. Welcome to the Mekotar program. Good evening.
Hello, good afternoon to you again, Jack.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. I enjoyed that interview with Damion a while ago. PC tried to explain certain things which he didn't spout in Chris Few's interview. Jeffrey, the temperament that the people know is not against no tax increase, whether it coming at the form of discretionary tax or this 1% GCT, right? Because as Cliff alluded to, the fact that the education fund was created to assist the education sector, but the bulk of that money was diverted to the consolidated fund to pay politicians and judges. And the money is to realize the demographics of the population right now. 2 million people is struggling to provide food security for the family. So the additional 1% GCT is
well, I think he was just suggesting that, though, you know. He wasn't saying that they, and I don't think if he even going there, if he will even thinking of raising it to 1 point whatever percent on GCT.
Don't express that, man. Don't express that.
Why?
Damon is still no. Don't express that because the demographics in Damien's community won't even agree with that. I did increase taxation without adequate representation, and that's what is the concern to the majority of the working poor. You know, so you know, and to suggest the 1% on GCT and discretionary tax, and I used to realize that the population now is not in agreement with the 300% increase. That's an additional tax burden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he should divert his attention to other things, man, to improve the party chances right now. That's to suggest that it's not a help to the party, as Chris alluded to.
Why you say it's not a help to the party?
Listen, you don't feel the temperament of the people. The people don't want additional tax.
Hold on for me, sir. Hold on for me. If he's suggesting something to help the education system in Jamaica, why are you saying that is not helping the party?
No, but listen, as Cliff pointed out to him, the educational tax was created so that the bulk of that money go to the educational system. Why don't talk about reforming the education tax to put the bulk of the funds to improve the educational system of the country? Why don't do that? You gotta do that. You gotta do that because it's obvious that most of that money is diverted to the consolidated fund. Farm that first before you're talking about additional taxation, about discretionary tax and 1% GCT. 2 million Jamaicans struggle to provide.
As what he said also, you know, I don't know if you listen to what he said. He said that Jamaica has a $1.7 trillion budget. So out of that $1.7 trillion, you don't think they can find $25 billion out of it?
Politicians don't provide funds.
Answer the question, no,
man. The working poor provide that. So why are you burning them?
I am saying this to you, sir. The Minister of Finance, in his supplementary budget, Jamaica's budget for the financial year 2024 to 2025, I think. Yeah, am I correct? I think so, yes. Is $1.7 trillion. The good gentleman, Senator Crawford, said also that out of that $1.7 trillion, $25 billion can come out of that.
Must can come out of that. Who provide that?
Me put on the must.
Okay, you put on the must.
Yes.
Okay. But who provide that $1.7 trillion budget? But isn't it the working poor? Isn't the working poor?
Ask you a question, you know. If the country have a budget of $1.7 trillion for the budget, is it 1.7 or 1.3 trillion? I don't remember what it was. All right? They find money to do all sorts of something. All sorts of something. So you're saying to me education is important, but they can't find $25 billion?
Listen.
Answer the question, man.
It's a struggle for the working poor. It's a struggle for the working poor. It's a struggle for the working poor. It's obvious it's a struggle for the working poor. Look at the demographics of the country. More than 70% of the working poor only earn $15,000 a week. Only earn $15,000 a week. So you don't consider that. You don't consider that you're some right. You know,
hello. You're a politician.
Additional burden.
You're a politician.
I'm not a politician.
No,
I wish I was.
Because you dance around the question. There's a 1.3.
That's a recurring expenditure. That's a recurring expenditure. The 300% increase. That's a recurring expenditure too. And 38% of our GDP is the service debt. That's one of the biggest burden on our tax, on our GDP.
So you're in agreement with the 300% increase with politicians?
No, I'm not
in
agreement.
If they can find 300% increase for their salary, why they can't find $25 billion out of the budget?
Why doesn't he mention why we don't reduce the 300%? Why we don't reduce the 300% and get the $27 billion from the tax?
They already have the 25%, sir. The 300% increase.
For the love of the people. Why both parties don't combine and say, listen, we're gonna reduce that 300%. So
sir,
even 250 answer the question. I'm answer the question. Reduce the 300% and get that $27 billion from the recurring expenditure that we're going to pay to pay the politicians. Why we don't do it?
And if they don't if they don't reduce it, sir, you do not believe the government can find $25 billion?
The government can find more than that.
So
with the economy over $1 trillion every year from corruption. So why he must. If he's a politician who's representing the people, why don't direct the argument in those areas? Direct the argument in those areas.
The man is an opposition senator, sir.
Nevertheless.
Yes.
Nevertheless.
No, but hold on. It looks like you have something against the senator.
No, I don't have not personally against the senator. He's vouching for my party, but vouch for it conscientiously and with sense. The condescending attitude about and the statistics don't resonate with the people. Come on, you must feel it.
No. If they have a budget of 1.3 or 1.7 trillion, all right, out of that budget, when the election call come, whatever time Andrew called it, put on the class election, out of that $1.7 trillion, they don't find money to go run campaign out of that same budget.
What you trying to explain?
Out of the same budget that the Minister of Finance says is 1.7 or 1.3 trillion. Okay? They must can find $25 billion because if Andrew put on the clocks tomorrow morning and call the election, they don't find money to the same budget for the run election.
Is that constitutional? To take money from the budget to run? That's illegal. That's not in the Constitution. They proposed to do that so that they don't get undue influence from people who donate to the party. They plan to do that, but that has been initiated.
Whether they get money from Timbuktu, yes or no, sir, they still get influence from people of the high up.
Jeffrey, the argument is you propose discretionary tax and you propose 1% GCT to finance education. And in another argument, he's saying he's just making a proposal because he doesn't know if the Minister of Finance would agree to such a proposal. Remember, the education tax was created to improve salaries and educational facilities.
And it's not doing that, sir.
It's not. Well, his argument was supposed to be centering around that. 90% of the people don't agree with the children.
How you know? But you keep on debating that they can't done, you know. If all right, I bet you any money right now. Did you know? For example, did you know that in that budget, the whole water system for Negril wasn't in the budget? But they find the money to go down there though.
Jeffrey, the activities are these people masquerading as politicians in the jail. Those interest me in our public.
And that is why I'm saying to you, sir. And that's what I'm saying to you, sir. The same way they can find money to do other things, they must can find the $25 billion to assist the education system, sir.
Are you getting that $25 billion, Jeffrey? You're going into the pocket of the working poor.
But haven't they gone in the pocket of the working poor to get much $1 billion to Negril for water?
Jeffrey.
Answer me, sir.
I think you're trying to talk.
No, sir. I don't draw my tongue around you. Don't do that.
Okay, sorry about that. That's a fool comment. Like a fool phrase to use. I know. But listen. Damion is aspiring to be a representative in the Ministry of Education.
Yes, sir. You only have a minute leave. You have a minute leave. I have an extra coming in.
We see the level of corruption
into
the ministry.
All right.
Prime Minister was there, Rural Reid was there, and we see the bleeding $1 billion in the industry. Yes. Address that, man, before you talk about additional tax.
All right.
And have a good day, Jeremy. Have a good day, Jeremy.
Wow. For those who are calling, call back 954-529-8030. There's big shebang going on at the Jamaican Embassy in Washington, D.C. What a whole situation. My thing is this. If they can find money, those who are calling in a while I didn't get through, you can call back 954-529-8030. Your views on what Senator Crawford just said to us. And what you think about what is going on in the country. 954-529-8030. It is now. Hold on there. What's going on here? Hold on there for me, please. There is some news coming into us. I'm going to see if I can get it. This vital news. That was 3 hours ago. 954. I think France has called a snappy election, it seems like. There is some Russian warship in the Caribbean Sea. They're in the port of Cuba, Havana, Cuba. I know the Negril. No, don't get me wrong. I am from Negril, you know. Don't get me wrong. The water issue in Negril, it is a very important situation, emergency situation going on down there. Don't get me wrong. What I was saying, they must can find the money. What the gentleman suggests to help with the education system, what Senator Crawford suggests. It may not come out of this year's budget, but at least, come on. Don't get me wrong. The water crisis in Negril is an emergency situation. Don't get me wrong, please. 9545298030 is also a WhatsApp number. But I try hacky phone in the account and I will get through. Wow. What a whole situation. My. Defense lawyers finally up in agreement. What a thing going on. Do you believe? What is your views on the whole? Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to our program.
Yeah, the man just talk about a foolishness, the man just talk. Because if we can ban rebellion for education, 1% increase for fund education, the next generation will come after we 50 years ago, will come in even worse than we. That we have to prepare for the generation will come after we. You see it, and you see the state of education rate in Jamaica now. You see it, so the 1%, the ban rebellion for the 1%, and it goes straight to education. You know, so why we can't agree with that? Education are the key. You understand me? But me see in the comments, certain person I write this and that. This is them as some illiterate person. And if we can make up a mind and say education, I go up on the front burner. Where we expect say 50 years from now we are there. Look at even Singapore. Singapore, you know, America man the blueprint in Tech 970. And Singapore is the richest country in the world right now. Singapore.
It was not Mr. Manley blueprint, sir. Go and do some more research.
So, and right now the population of Singapore over 5 million. And Singapore doing bigger than St. Thomas. You see it? So, but education are the key to success in life. Education. If we not make up our mind to spend on education, we don't have nowhere going.
Indeed.
So the call of them we have come up and against that. You see it? They not think about 20, 50 years down the line.
All right.
They doesn't hit 40 now, so them believe so that is it.
All right, my friend. Have a next call coming. Thank you for calling in.
All right,
First, hang up. 954. Oh, here it is. Hello, good night. Welcome to the Mecca program. Good evening.
Good afternoon, Sir Jeffrey. How are you?
Turn off your TV in the background. I'm here looking and living like Monty Perkins.
Great name, great name.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I am really privileged to be a part of your platform and what you are doing along with a number of others.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. I tend to take a different approach to all of these things that are happening. And my reason for saying that is if we're going to address the issues that, first, say the educational system is facing in Jamaica today, wouldn't it not be wise for us to just reflect on, let's say, 10 years ago, the standard of education we had back then in comparison to now? And if you were to grade it, what grade would you put on the standard of education that the children got then to the standard that they're getting today?
Me? You really want me to grade it?
Yes, man. We have to be honest about it. So if we're gonna deal with an issue, we have to be honest about it.
Back in my days, and it's not long from it's not long now, you know. Back in my days in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, coming up on little part of 2000. Our education system have crisis in it too, you know. But our teachers were, in a sense, there to help us and so forth. They could see the way through. But now when you have what is going on in Jamaica, where children don't have any respect to parents and the teachers are stressed out because they come to school and stress out the teachers them. And the teachers then I get no pay from the government. I would grade Jamaica education system to be maybe a 10.
You mean back in your days or no?
No.
Because I'm looking at the standard, you know, the standard of education in comparison to your days. When
how old do you think I am?
That,
How old do you think I am?
Looking at your picture, you're around about 54, 55.
No, sir.
You're younger than that?
Yep. Me look that old?
It's a picture, you know, because I mean, I'm just, as I say, looking on the picture, I've seen the persons. I don't, I mean, yes, sir.
I'm younger than that, sir. I'm younger than that.
Okay, so all right. So you have gained a lot of wisdom. I mean, at a young age, because it shows on your head, because they say the gray hairs are a sign of wisdom.
I get in gray because of the stress of this thing here. I'm doing every day. I get up to me. I chat with the Jamaican people them. And when they do that, when they cost me, come some of them and say, "How me that beg."
Well, you see, that is always happening now. When you're an advocate, I mean, you respect that because not everybody is going to be on your side. I mean, and they'll be more against you than that will be with you, because that's how it always goes, you know. We have a tendency to think that the majority is always right, but in the real world, not necessarily so. Yes, sir. So the reason I asked the question is that for me, let's go from common entrance. Common entrance, the student that came through that period, we realized that most of the leaders we have today were a part of that system. Those children that came out of that former educational system, the standard of education that they came out with, most of them, they anywhere in the world they go, they function, and it's like they were in demand because the standard of education was higher. Though the teachers weren't being well paid, even up to today, teachers are not being well paid. But over the period, to me, is that the educational system is it is degenerating. We're hearing about far much more money being being allocated for education, but the standard of the education is as we have lost the standard of education. One of your earlier callers, she was mentioning the common entrance, and then it went to GCT, and then it went to what is it that now? What's the name of the last one? So you have common entrance, GCT, and well, I forget the other one.
I don't remember the name of it. Every day changing.
Oh, exactly. But what we're not understanding is that Jamaica's educational system is no longer based on a Jamaica curriculum. Back in the days, it was a Jamaica curriculum. But now, because we have signed so many treaties, we are now being What word I'm looking for? We are now, it's like we have become, it's a community. It's education is now, it's become a community thing.
I was just going to say to you, so please use a word that we can understand. Now use no flim-flam word that we can understand.
No, all right. So the educational system has become incorporated with not just the Jamaican educational system, but more a worldwide educational system. Because what they're doing now, they're not educating the populace nowadays. You know, they are just preparing them to become workers. Gone are the days when they put emphasis on a solid education. You made mention back in your days where discipline was a part of the school system, where teachers were respected. With a child, if a child go to school and disrespect a teacher, and the peer don't have the parents coming to school and cussing out the teacher and making the children think that the teacher is subjected to him or her. That was when teachers had pride in what they do. Nowadays, majority of the teachers, it's not for the love of it, but for what they can get out of it in terms of a salary. And for them, and for most of them, it's also an opportunity that they use that as a springboard to go elsewhere. And you can't blame some of them, because the standard of living in Jamaica.
Some of them, you don't know if you can blame some of them. Everybody must listen to me. If you're not being paid properly, and I'm going to keep on disrespecting you, and you can't left.
And I'm not saying no, because everybody wants to be in greener pastures, and we understand that. So, and then another thing too that we have to understand. Remember now, I think it's from Michael Manley I've heard.
You only have 2 minutes, because the producer said to me, I need to go get some rest, because I look sick, I look tired.
No problem, sir.
So, some of my friends on YouTube say I look like me at 69. Lord have mercy.
No, sir, looks are deceiving, so can't judge by looks. Yes, sir. So I remember I watched this interview with the late Honorable Michael Manley, and he said something that I don't know how many people took time out to listen. When you went to the IMF to get an IMF loan, there are some requirements for the country going into that IMF, taking on that IMF deal. It requires you to cut spending on your education, your security, and your health, and your infrastructure of your country. So, a lot of what we're seeing today, most of the monies that we're talking about, education tax and all these taxes, where we're told that they go into a slush, for better word, a slush.
One pool that was it was a pool that was designed by Jamaica's world-class Minister of Finance back in the 1990s. Sorry, back in the 1990s. He dubbed himself as Jamaica's world-class Minister of Finance, Dr. Omar Davies. He was the one who created the Consolidated Fund.
So, just take that, and in my last comment here, sir. So, what do you understand? So, if you're operating a business and you're allocating funds for the different departments, that means each department would have its budget, and then it could work with the budget. But then, if you're consolidating everything, then some of the departments are going to get less than is needed to operate effectively.
Yes.
So, at the end of the day, most of the money that Jamaica earns, which it earns from the people of Jamaica, does not benefit the people of Jamaica, but benefit the investors in Jamaica. And the investor and Jamaica's biggest investor is the IMF.
Yes. All right.
I just agree that. Thanks for allowing me to be on your platform.
You're welcome. Thanks. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. You're live.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're live. Turn off your TV in the background, please.
Yeah, me just move out tight. Hey,
get it inside of it.
Yeah, man, move up, man. Jeffrey, what's his name? Damion Crawford came on a while ago, right?
Yes, sir.
Not too long ago. Me and Carl just encourage him to stay. If he be strong in the party. I'm from Linksted area. As a whole team, Jackson, Jack Stevens supporter. So I asked him to dig up Jack Stevens' file and run a campaign on Jack Stevens' file.
So who is Jack Stevenson?
Is a PMP MP that was died during the early 80s, late 70s. He was before this man, this big fat man away just resigned what they had. You call his name earlier. The MP that
Chairman for life?
resigned, the big fat.
Chairman for life?
No man,
Bobby
MP, the
Pickersgill?
PMP that instead, resigned instead.
Bobby Pickersgill?
Pickersgill, right. Jack Stevens was before him. So when Pickersgill came in, he never needed to do nothing because Lindsay was already labeled as a PMP area. Because Jack Stevens worked and did well among the PMP people. Give them land, the schools, roads, and all the way. You know what I mean? So I want him to run on Jack Stevens.
No. Hold on there now. Why can't run on his merit? Why have to run on Jack Stevens?
It is good too, but Jack Stevenson is that constituency. The way his door was always open to everybody.
Oh, I understand.
Whether you, that would be a good thing for him to run on. Just like how.
All right, so thanks for calling in. We're going to say so long for tonight. I've been going on for like I'm going on a marathon. Till on the face, I can't tell me something look like me a 60-year-old. I don't love my business, sir. Thank you all for coming and thank you all for being a part of the Make We Talk program. I want to say thanks to Senator Damion Crawford for calling into the program. And Senator Crawford, I'm going to send you my sister-in-law school name in St. Elizabeth. You say you want to go down there to help her. I'm going to Yes, Senator Crawford, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you all very much for being a part of the program. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless you. May God bless Jamaica land we love. Before we go, remember that on Saturday, June 15th, we'll be coming to you live from Washington, D.C. There it is. We'll be coming to you live from Washington, D.C., where Jamaican Diaspora in association with the Jamaican Global... I can hardly see that thing there. Anyway. Jamaica and Friends of Jamaica. Let's raise our voice in concern against the corrupt political system in our country. So join us then as we come to you live from Washington, D.C. Here we go.
In any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad.
Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force, in association with the Global Jamaican Diaspora Council, presents We Want Change. Jamaicans, friends of Jamaica, let's raise our voices in protest against corruption, crime, poverty, failed healthcare, poor education, injustice, all that's taking place in Jamaica. Join us for this historic event on Saturday, June the 15th, 2024. This takes place at the Embassy of Jamaica, 1520 New Hampshire Avenue, NW, Washington, D.C. It starts at 9 a.m., finishes at 4 p.m. If you want change for Jamaica, make sure come out and support this cause. Jamaican.
Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk.
Remember that this Saturday, the Make We Talk program will be coming to you live from Washington, D.C. The Make We Talk program will be coming to you live from Washington, D.C., where we will be having the protest live on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. The only channel that can bring it to you best, like how we did in New York. We had a little glitches in New York, but I want you to come on over to our channel this Saturday from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. We come to you live from New York City. I want to say thank you all for being a part of this program. And tomorrow evening, let me find this thing here. Tomorrow evening, join Reason with Radigan, a special program, Reason with Radigan, tomorrow, June 30th, 2024 at 8 p.m. on Reggae Global Radio and YouTube channel. 8 p.m. US time, that's 7 p.m. Jamaica time. The topic, final update on the protest in front of the Jamaican Embassy in Washington, D.C. and also the scheduled Global Jamaican Diaspora Council Conference for June 16th to 21st, 2024 from 7 p.m. Jamaica US time to 10 p.m. US time. Come on out and listen to us as we discuss that. Thus, tomorrow, a special program on Reason with Ratigan. We must continue praying for Wilfred Ratigan. Continue praying for him, please. Because he continues standing up, although he's not well, he continues standing up for the poor class of Jamaicans. Check out Reason with Ratigan tomorrow, June 30th at 8 p.m. on Reggae Global Radio and YouTube at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. US time, 7 p.m. Jamaica time. Final update on the preparation in the on the protests in front of the Jamaican Embassy in Washington, D.C. And also a scheduled Global Jamaican Diaspora Council Conference on June 16th, June 21st to June 21st, 2004, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Come on out and hear what we have to say about that, all right? Thank you all very much once more. Remember to like, share, and subscribe wherever you are listening from around the world. On the Eastern Caribbean, it's the Make We Talk YouTube channel with yours truly, Jeffrey T. Everyone have a great evening. I don't think I'll be coming back on for the rest of the evening because honestly, I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit tired. I was going to do another program to say that, usher him out. But I'm a bit tired. Thank you all for coming on. Thanks to Senator Damion Crawford for calling in. God bless you and may God bless Jamaica land we love. Have a great evening, everyone.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.